From the start of round 10 action at Flinders University Stadium this afternoon, and it is Grant Coffey, Don Cooper with you. All the action, stay tuned. Buckle yourself in for a smorgasbord of Sunday afternoon sandful action. Teams making their way to their positions now. And Grant Coffey, quick last comment from you before we have our opening bounce.
Yeah, Tigers by a couple. Now, you've got a bit of a soft spot for the Panthers, Don. Do you like South Adelaide today, or are you going to stick with Glenelg?
I think if they're going to make a stamp on 2019, it has to be this afternoon, but we're going to get a real good indication of where these two sides are this afternoon. So I'm going to quietly sit on the picket fence out here this afternoon, Grant. I'm going to call the action. You put your neck on the line. That's what you're here to do. Give us all the special stuff. The Tigers kicking to the left of your digital pass screen. The South Adelaide kicking to the Onkaparinga end or the right of your screen as umpire Harris is about to get us underway with the opening bounce. We've got McGree going up in the ruck against Jesse White in the 10-metre circle. So Cam McGree, big job this afternoon against jumping Jesse White. And the two big men are just crouched down, ready to go. Here we go, round 10 action, your Sandful Statewide Super League. We're underway. Opening bounce, it's an absolute ripper too. White got a good look at it. McGee might have got a little tap down. Snook tried to farm his way through, but it was stolen there by Motlop. And they quickly go forward, the Tigers to half forward. Well, not taking the mark there was shot. Ball spits out in here now for Davis for the Panthers. He needs a little bit of support and he gets it in the form of Heaslip in game number 50. Drive South Adelaide looking for Beamans, doing real well back there was Curran. Chance for Cross now if it sits. He's got McCarthy on his hammer and tack. Cross, he's all class. He keeps paddling it forward. No free kick and it's rushed through for a minor score. Great opening burst there from South Adelaide. They're one behind. They lead the Tigers yet to score, Grant Coffey.
It was exciting stuff there for South Adelaide. Joel Cross just couldn't find a handle on the footy. Maybe could have received a free kick too high, but the umpire said play on all okay.
So Curran gave it to Yates, and Yates gets it back in the 1-2 now for the Tigers as they go down the outer side and finds Tom Schott with a nice little pass.
Couple of early involvements by Schott, Don.
Yeah, well, we're looking for him to fire a few shots this afternoon as he gets it to Motlop, celebrating game 100 and drives the Tigers inside 50. Scott's there, but well read by Davis, who he also has got some early touches.
Yep.
Getting South Adelaide out of trouble through Noble with a squaring ball that finds Tyson Brown in right half back. In perfect conditions, the ground bathed in sunshine. Short pass finds Heaslip.
Started well, a couple of touches already, Don, in game 50.
Yes, and that's what he liked. As McGree gets it and blasts it towards half forward, right in front of your camera position, and overall. Well, he was overall too good for Chris Curran. Then the Tigers skipper and Sam Overall can pump this inside 50.
Yeah, it might be a bit too big for his opponent.
He blasts it towards, well, about 25 out, but it was beautifully read back there by Max Proud. I don't think Emery had any chance for the Panthers as Proud squares it to Bradley, who directs traffic in the Motlop direction. Very clever, got around Haines there as he got the foot speed. He needs support. The cavalry arrive in the form of Shot. Picked up here out the back there was Sampson, but eventually it comes to Yates. The late inclusion for the Tigers. His kick. Well, there's a whistle gone and a free kick is going to the Tigers. So we'll go to big Liam McBean.
Yeah, just held on to the umpire said, but he's kicked that straight out in the full. Off a stepped on, happens all the time. The player hasn't steadied with a kick and the breeze is taken out of play.
So Brown has the relieving kick, but he gives it straight back to Andrew Bradley for the Tigers at right half back on the outer side. That breeze probably just puffing across the ground, so players will need to keep that in mind, particularly when shooting for goal. And Corey Gregson now for the Tigers. Just attacking side of centre wing, fires it towards half forward right. It goes through a pack of players, but there's a whistle gone. And the free kick will go against McBean. Advantage taken by the Panthers now. Heaslip fires a real nice little pass to McGree. He's getting plenty of it, the big man. He wants to take on Jesse White, and he did pretty well to a one-on-one contest. Ball at ground level now. The Tigers have possession. Now it's with Curran. Curran, little kick on the 45 to Motlop. Motlop driving, drilling little pass there, and that's a good one, and it finds Close. Close now, not close enough to goal. Looks for a lead, intercepted by McGree, and isn't he having a purple patch at the moment as he spreads the ground wide for the Panthers and finds Brown.
So started off very well, Don McGree. Couple of early touches on the back play there and kicks the ball really well.
Some interesting work there by Summerton as he juggled it around his back there. Eventually got a kick, cross, being harassed as he usually is, but he works it back to Noble, who just has good vision to find Lonergan. Now Lonergan with a short little pass. They get themselves out of trouble here for the moment, South Adelaide, as Haines has it. Now he decides to go through the corridor. The lead-up's presented by Overall, and the mark's taken. So he's pressed up the ground, Little calling for it. He decides to go shorter to Davis. Davis with a nice little kick back inside the corridor. Falling over at the inopportune moment was Noble, picked up by Elliot Chalmers for the Tigers. Eventually to Yates. Yates back to Motlop now. Good use of the ball by hand by the Tigers, and they'll get out of trouble to Gregson. Corey Gregson brings it back. Short little chipping pass, finds Motlop. Goes towards right half forward. They need a mark. There's a free kick gone here, and it's going to go to the way of South Adelaide.
Yeah, against Scott, they said, in the back, and play on advantage was the call.
Great to see Josh Scott back playing football. Kicked a couple last week against the Tigers. In the meantime, here's fit for the Panthers. He just outpointed Yates, and that's a spearing little ball inside 50 there to Joel Cross. And Cross finding a little bit of space there on his direct opponent. Man on the mark, 48 out. It's going to need a good kick, but Joel Cross, he is all class. It's not beyond him.
Yeah, and South Adelaide have had all the play so far in this game. They're spreading the ground really well. The kick from Cross here will need to be a good one. Kick right on 50.
165 goals. 127 goals in his career, Joel Cross, but that one won't add to it. Minor score. The Panthers 2 behinds. That's the only score on the board. The Tigers yet to trouble the scorers here. 5.5 gone of the opening stands. Around 10 action. Flinders University Stadium bathed in sunshine as Uber Gang kicks towards right half back. And a big punch over the line there from Josh Scott, who's pushed up the ground there, sees it over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in there right in front of the famous outhouse here at Flinders University Stadium, Grant.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much breeze here, but I think in the reserves game, most of the goals have been down towards the South Adelaide end.
White did really well, just got his opponent out the way, and it's a nice kick too that finds McBean. So the Tigers prepared to press up the game possession. Here's McBean now looking for Scott over the back. Can he claim the mark? No. Chance for Lonergan. He sets upon him, and the umpire will call the ball up about 70 metres out from the Tigers' goal. And Grant, they're really pressing up to get possession, but it's leaving them exposed when they go up forward. They're very thin up forward at the moment.
Yeah, they are, and they've got a lot of tall timber down there. We saw Josh Scott. Maybe another more couple of games under his belt, he'd take that one.
McGree did really well. He had Partington latching onto him, but he got it to Cross, and they work it out now through Bogle. Bogle now got it to Brown. Brown's kicked a half forward. Good spoil there. Great work from Proud. Needs a support, though. Picked up here now by Carpenter. Kicked towards 50. Inside 50. A good mark back there, though, by Curran. The two number 5s going out at Anthony Beamans and Chris Curran, and the Tigers skipper wins out. Whistle gone. And it's going to be a boundary throw-in as Curran has played on over the boundary line. Carried the ball over, and umpire Schramm all over that one. Mr. Attentive out there he is, Michael Schramm. And we'll have a boundary throw-in 10 metres around from the behind post. So
I've never understood that rule, Don.
Well, lucky the umpires do. Grant as White gets it down. And he was looking for his teammate there. Out the back here, Cross has it, fires a hand pass out the back to Fit, tried to paddle it forward under all sorts of pressure, got it to Bogle, kick was smothered, picked up here, round the corner, kick by Schwartz. Schwartz's kick is going to be rushed through, minor score, so 3 behinds the Panthers. They lead it by that margin, just over 7.5 gone in the first quarter, and the ball in the hands of Marlon Motlop.
Game number 100 today, starting to get a couple of touches in this game.
Debuted with the Roosters in 2008, Marlon Motlop. And we'll have a boundary throw-in, about 75 metres, 80 metres around from the goals to which South Adelaide kick to the right of screen. They lead the contest by 3 points on the Red Arc Electronics scoreboard. As the ball's thrown back in, McGree did really well up against White. Bogle's in there. He's tackled, got a little hand pass out, though, a squeezing kick goes inside 50, but it's quickly repelled for the Panthers. Motlop has it, fires out the hand pass now to Partington, who just gets a little hand pass across now to White. Gets a few metres on his opponent, kicks towards half forward. He was looking for McBean back there, but stealing the ball's Brown. Went to go right, then went left. Has a friend in Rose. Rose now off the outside of the right shoe. Little kick forward, finds Sampson, uses Noble now. Kick was questionable to Little. Ducked his head, got through the tackle, did real well now. Picked up here by Carpenter. Span himself out of trouble, back to Little. Little off the left shoe. Bouncing ball, picked up nicely by Bogle. Good pass looking for overall. Pushed in the back by Ubergang. The umpire said he didn't though, and it squeezes out the back to Yates for the Tigers, who goes to Scharenberg, and directed traffic goes to Partington. Well, chance gone begging there. I thought it might have been a free kick for Sammy Overall.
Sam Overall just had a bit of a drive by the umpire there just to let him know he thought it was pushing the back.
Well, there's a free kick this time to the jeers of the Tigers supporters. It goes to McBean, who fires it quickly inside 50. It's gone from one end of the ground to the other, and a whistle gone. And we're going to have a free kick to the Tigers here, and it will go to Josh Scott by the look of it.
Yeah, there's been a couple of holding free kicks already in this game, Don, with the Glenelg Bigs. They're just trying to hold them so they don't get a run at the footy, but in doing so, just infringing. So Josh Scott now, first opportunity to have a shot on goal, and he's a long kick of the footy.
Jake Summerton quite filthy with himself down there on the mark. Not too happy with proceedings, but anyway, Josh Scott, chance here to go back and shoot on goal. 136 career goals in the Sandful Statewide Super League for the sharp shooting Josh Scott. Fires it from 40 metres out. It's a lovely looking kick. It is a lovely looking kick. He's got his first. The Tigers have got the first. They break the ice. They're one straight 6. They lead the Panthers now 3 behind, 3-point margin, and that opening goal by the Tigers brought to us by Bone Timber, providing quality timber since 1919, a 5th generation family business, and straight through the 2 bits of woodwork there for Josh Scott.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hard matchup for South Adelaide today, trying to contain all that tall timber down there. Lee McBean's already pushed up the ground a couple of times and been involved. Josh Scott deep inside forward 50. Tim Sumner's down there as well, so they're going to be pretty hard to contain today.
Red Arc Electronics scoreboard shows Glenelg 1 straight 6. The Panthers 3 behind, 3-point margin, nearly 11 gone, back in the middle. White got it, Snook took it out from his hands, paddled it forward, still has it Snook. No one can get his hands on him. And in there is Heaslip, trying to writhe and get the ball out. He eventually does to McGree, who comes back in and puts it around his body basketball style. Picked up by Bradley though, back in the 1-2. He got it there from White. Bradley's kick to half forward. Great work by Bradley Crabb there, from one Bradley to another, but of different sorts. Ball still inside 50 for the Tigers. Rose for the Panthers now. Rose to the occasion, but the kick wasn't too good because it's straight down the throat of Luke Partington. The Partington now too far out to score. As we've said, got lots of tall timber to aim at. There's one nearly taken. Yes, it's been paid. I thought he had a good piece of it too, and it's Luke Reynolds down there who's taken the mark.
I was just having a look where Luke Reynolds was, because I didn't see him inside forward 50, and at that last centre ball up, he was on centre wing, the grandstand centre wing, so he's pushed deep inside forward 50 as the ball's gone forward. So that's something that South Adelaide are going to have to watch there, because he's got a beautiful set of hands on him, as we saw there, and normally doesn't make too many mistakes in front of goal.
22 goals, 9 so far in 2019 for Luke Reynolds. He is a pinpoint kick usually. This is on its way, and this is certainly another example of that. He's got 1, the Tigers have got 2 back-to-back goals, Glenelg.
Yeah, and South Adelaide, for the first 5 to 6 minutes of this game, they really controlled the footy, and they, as we said, they sort of spread Glenelg around the ground and kicked the ball around, but they couldn't sort of make it count on the scoreboard. Glenelg have gone forward twice and kicked 2 goals. A couple of their key forwards there, and Reynolds right in the action once again.
Well, this is what we talked about pre-game. They're second in the competition for their accuracy. They're showing that this afternoon. They're 2 straight on the Red Arc Electronics scoreboard, leading the Panthers 3 behind, so it's a 9-point margin. Just ticking towards the 13-minute mark as we're back in the middle. The umpire gets us going again. White got a little fingertipper down, stolen by Davis. This time South Adelaide on the counter punch. Overall leapt high early, couldn't take the mark. Comes out here to Cross. Cross with a clever hand pass. It goes to Schwartz. Schwartz on return. Can't get the goal though. Minus score. First game back for Nick Schwartz since he injured his hand in round 3 against the Tigers in that infamous draw. So South Adelaide trickle along to 4 behinds, reduce the margin to 8 on the Red Arc Electronic scoreboard.
Yeah, and it was a good handball there by Joel Cross. Had to keep the ball low because he had some Glenelg numbers around him, but gave it off there to Schwartz, and nearly put it through, just drifted to the right-hand side.
Snook uses Uber Gang, who blasts it towards centre wing. Big fly at the back there. Oh, nearly taken by Scharenberg. 1, 2, 3 grabs. The umpire said he didn't have a big enough piece, and we'll have a ball up right in front of your digital pass camera position in front of the Jimmy Dean grandstand here at Flinders University Stadium. Davis decides to do the ruck work, but White won it down to Scharenberg, who had his hand pass smothered, and we'll have a secondary stoppage, another throw in right in front of us here. Perfect conditions, Grant Coffey. Good start by the Tigers. South Adelaide, as you said, plenty of the pill. They need a goal.
And you can see young McGree here in the ruck contest. He probably hasn't got the strength to go with Jesse White, but if he can get a jump at it, that's what his main goal will be today.
It was thrown out like a rag doll by White. Eventually, Close got a hand pass to shot with an underground kick that found Bailey. He went backwards with a little help me out hand pass to Reynolds, already a goal kicker. Crowd calling for a free kick. Umpire says play on. Panthers now in the hands of Rose to Summerton, and a kick inside to Cross. So they've opened up the Tigers here if they can find a target. So Whittlesey presents. It bounced in front of him. He did well. Cross did real well. Got out of trouble there. Got it to Schwartz. Schwartz's kick looking for Emery. He was out pointed there by Proud. Good contest though. Ball at ground level. Diving in on top of its Beamans to lock it in. And the umpire say will have a ball up 60 metres out from the Panthers goal.
Yeah, good work there by South Adelaide. They need to get a goal on the board here just for all their hard work getting the footy forward.
Davis did well to slap it down. It went to the advantage here of Carpenter. Just weaved his way through traffic. Little wobbler inside 50. Tigers defence stand tall through Bradley. Gets it out by the left foot kick, but a good mark. Courageous mark by Davis. Had Timmy Sumner bearing down on him. Heard the footsteps, but he stood his ground.
Yeah, he started well. He's had plenty of it, Davis.
Driving kick to the top of the goal square. Players set themselves. It comes out the back. Proud does well. Put the little hand pass out there. Pressure applied plenty to McCarthy for the Tigers, and the ball goes over the boundary line, thrown in about 10 metres around, or maybe even 5 around from the South Adelaide behind post there. They trail the contest by 8. We've gone nearly 16. They need a goal here. Cross is lurking. Bogle's lurking as well. Rucks go at it. White wins it down. Hayslip tries to barge and bullock his way through. Did well, but stripped of the football. Ball just bobbling around there at ground level now. Players diving in on it. And the umpire says we'll have to ball it up 25 out from the South Adelaide goal.
Sam Overall getting a bit frustrated. He's getting a lot of attention there in the marking contest.
White did well. Slapped it down. He slips in there for the Panthers. He's wrapped up though. So South Adelaide, as we said, they're getting plenty of the ball. They just need to manufacture a goal here somehow, with Nick Little just lurking around this stoppage here. But White does really well. Took it out of the ruck, made use of the new rule, but the kick's going to be picked off by Crabb, who has a runner flanking him in the form of Rose. Quick repeat inside 50 entry. Big fly over the top, came from Beamans. Punched it forward. Snook on hands and knees, used Curran, and White's kick eventually smothered by Beamans over the boundary line, and another throw in.
And Glenelg have got a lot of numbers in their defensive 50 at the moment, Don, so they're making it very hard for South Adelaide. They're just clogging up the ball just around the contest and just happy to do it, just chew some time off the clock.
Fairly congested inside 50 area at the moment for South Adelaide, as Overall does the ruck work against White. Now Cross pushed out of the contest. He was. Elliot Chalmers interfered with Joel Cross right in front of umpire Schramm, who just re-explains it was one of the easiest decisions I'll have all day. And Joel Cross with the free kick right in front of the faithful here at the Jimmy Dean grandstand.
Yeah, I think he's probably thinking he might have missed the last one against Sam Overall. Couldn't miss 2 in a row. And South Adelaide opportunity here for goal number 1.
Joel Cross, a little bit of right to left you think about this one. Well, he's skewed off the side of the boot and made an absolute mess of it, missed everything. So, tail of the tape so far today, Grant Coffey. South Adelaide, plenty of the football, just not using it well.
No, exactly right. And you tried to really put the boot into that one, but it sort of went off the side and missed the lot.
Marlon Motlop, the Centurion, across the face of goal to the skipper in Curran, who put it to the bootlaces of McCarthy, who did well to pick it up quickly. Drive it to half forward. They certainly are out through the form of Bradley, who has the luxury of a bounce. Went inboard with a real scrubby type of kick that Davis picks off. Paddled it forward. Plenty of numbers there. Ball thrown over the back by Overall by hand. Comes out Bradley mops up his own mess there. Tackled was Ubergang, stripped of the football, picked up by Davis. Sweeping, searching hand, passed across. This time he's got some time. This time he's got some carry. And he carried it to the left and a minor score. So they are blazing away. They're 5 behind South Adelaide. Glenelg, 100% accuracy. They're 2 straight 12. They lead it by 7 points, 18 gone.
Yeah, really good work by Davis once again, just to hold the ball in for the Panthers. Turned it over. And Joel Cross, I think that's his 3rd opportunity shot on goal.
They've all gone begging too as Chalmers cleared it for the Tigers. It's picked up here by Lonergan for South Adelaide, who's wrapped up by a pack of Tigers over there. Close was one of them. And the umpire will have to ball it up 60 out from the Panthers' goal. Trail it by 7, but 5 scoring shots to 2. This time it's Yates. Does well. It was Bradley actually. He got it out to Close. Close now with the driving pass down, looking for, and yes, a great mark.
Yeah, that is a really good
taken
mark.
There.
Full stretch and at full pace.
So Tom's shot goes short after that good mark and finds Motlop. Motlop goes back to go forward and Chalmers takes it. Some attention there from McGree. Has to be careful on the mark as Chalmers now chips it out wide here to Close. Now they've got some time and space to lower the eyes. Slipping as he kicked though was Close and it affected the kick. And a free kick's being paid here to Bailey for the Tigers. And he quickly gets on with it. If they created some space, it went to the bootlaces of Scott. Picked up here by the Panthers defence, eventually by Davis, who's been one of the best players on the ground in the opening stanza. And there's a free kick paid, and in the meantime, as we see, our player spotlight is Marlon Motlop in game 100. 4 marks, 2 handballs and 5 kicks thanks to the ACH group. Great supporters of the Tigers here, and they have a chance to score again, Grant.
Yeah, Abe Davis there. As he was trying to get the kick away, he was tackled and just dropped the footy. So Josh Scott, who has... he's kicked the 1 goal, hasn't he? Yeah,
he certainly has.
Goal, so this is for goal number 2. So a good start by Josh Scott.
Can they strike a big blow here, the Tigers? Scott will kick it from about 40. No real angle to speak of. Lovely looking kick, and it's just faded to hit the woodwork at the colonnade's end. So first blemish on the Red Arc electronic scoreboard for the Tigers. 2-1-13, they lead it by 8 points. South Adelaide just 5 behinds, ticked into time on. Repeating, Marlon Motlop in game 100. Your player, spotlight player, comments from Grant Coffey.
Yeah, well, he started very well, getting a lot of his footy through that midfield area. He started as a midfielder today and having a great game so far.
So in the meantime, from the clearance, we'll have a ball up on the outer side of Flinders University Stadium here. As umpire Harris comes in. Josh Scott being wrapped up by Tyson Brown. Jesse White gets the tap down. He's been really good and productive in the ruck so far today. White having a good day as he slipped. In game number 50, runs it across the boundary line and we'll have a throw in on the outer side. Good crowd here, healthy crowd, beautiful day. Super Sunday of football on your Sandful Statewide Super League. Hope you're enjoying it on the digital pass. Jesse White's enjoying it. He took it out of the ruck. His kick was taken then by Gregson. Ball spills out though to Heaslip for the Panthers. Picks it up. Davis had it. Lost it though. Brown with a hand pass looking for Little. The Tigers are swarming here. They're back inside 50. And again, the Panthers need to repel. Partington with a little rugby-style hand pass to Liam McBean. Well, I've never seen something like that. The big man has kicked the goal from remarkable pocket.
That was a bit of Eddie Betts style there.
There was a little bit of that, but I tell you what, Liam McBean, he has just kicked that from absolutely mission impossible.
Yeah, so it's a good duel at the moment. I think it's Brad Crabb who's got the job on him. They were holding on to each other. He went back in after the ball and got it and just threw it on the boot. And it was one of those ones that sort of curved. He could have just about curved out of the goals, but went around the back of the post and went through for a goal, his first of the game. So really good start by Liam McBean.
Oh, it definitely was, and really good work from the goal umpire there, bending over backwards to get the right decision, quite literally, but Partington involved there. Check if your Red Arc electronic scoreboard. Glenelg 3-1-19. They lead the Panthers 5 behinds, 14-point margin, 23 gone.
Yeah, shout out to goal umpire Matthew Williams there. Did a great job.
Yeah, nice work, Grant Coffey, giving the green machine a good bit of service there and some encouragement as well. Nice to hear. We'll have a secondary stoppage back in the middle. The ball thrown high. And wide again. Is there a free kick being paid? And it will be.
Yeah, McGree just needs to stand off Jesse White. Don't try to get into a bit of a wrestle with him. Just jump in at him.
White got around him nicely. He's full of confidence at the moment, Jesse White. That's a beautiful pass. Nearly hit up Josh Scott. Ball spilled out. Hit terra firma. Umpire said play on. Players stack around it and we'll have a ball up just inside 50 for the Tigers. They've been relentless and they've been really accurate on the scoreboard. 3-1-19 to the Panthers, 5 behinds. And here they go again. They have a chance to pick it up though, but it wasn't taken through Bradley. The ball now spills out to Davis, who releases Bogle through the middle of Flinders University Stadium with a wobbler that's picked off by Maxi Proud. Sliding on his knees, directs traffic now with a nice left foot shooter, Scharenberg. Wanted to go back inboard on the 45, and he does. A little fingertipper maybe by Sampson. The umpire said no. Partington with a low dart to White, who just shaped to go. Sold some candy to McGree. He's enjoying this contest, Jesse White. But the mark was taken down the back there by Tyson Brown. So it's almost like a game of tennis at the moment, rebounding from the 50s to the 50s. Glenelg, the only side who can break through for goals, as Davis, cheeky kick back on the 45 there. Mark, good mark taken by Bogle out in front of Better Man. So Bogle was the better man on that occasion.
He was on that one, and a couple of younger type players, and good mark in front by South Adelaide on that one.
Now Noble stretches the ground wide, sends it in the crab direction. They raffled it here as it's picked up by Lonergan, who goes with a nice little left foot pass to find Little. So they're still on the defensive side of their ground. They've taken it to the outer side, the Panthers. Little's kick now. He was looking for fit, went to his bootlaces. So again, disposal efficiency, Grant, I have to call it out at the moment. Glenelg's much better than the Panthers.
Yeah, just the pressure, I think, by Glenelg that they're applying at the moment.
And there's Chris Curran just picking off that inside 50 entry. The two number 5s, he and Beeman's locking horns today. Anthony Beeman's back into the side too for the Panthers, as now Proud has it. Near the goal square. Defensive. Goals for the Tigers, goes short to Close. Close chips it into the corridor and finds Yates, the late inclusion. He's had plenty of the ball this afternoon too. And Yates squaring past to the grandstand side where he finds Proud. They're just toying with the Panthers at the moment, the Tigers. There's the quarter time siren. So let's give you the score on the Red Arc Electronics scoreboard. Glenelg 3-1-19. They lead South Adelaide 5 behind. It's a 14-point margin. We'll go through your goal scorers firstly for the South Adelaide side. Thanks to their goal scorers, well, it's a very short conversation. There are none. There's only kicked 5 behinds. And yeah, it's those forward entries, isn't it? They're not able to sort of get some space and separation on their opponent and get a good space to lead into. Some marks have been picked off by Max Proud, Chris Curran. They're reading the ball well and they're prepared to come off their man because they know that South Adelaide are forced to put that sort of chaos kick inside 50 at the moment. They're not having a real structured entry inside their forward 50, whereas Glenelg are sort of setting up and taking the time to give options to Scott, to Reynolds, to McBean, and have a look for the right one at the right time. That's the difference at the moment. The disposal efficiency and the decision-making of the Tigers has them 14 points in front.
Yeah, you mentioned Max Proud. He's just about having a, one of his best years he's had as a defender. He's playing some really good footy this year down back for the Tigers.
Comments there from Grant Coffey, alongside yours truly, Don Cooper, this afternoon on the Digital Pass. Second stanza action about to get underway here at Flinders University Stadium. Picture perfect Sunday afternoon. One of 3 games on in your Sandful Statewide Super League in round 10 this afternoon. Of course, the Eagles and Adelaide already winners in round 10. Here we go. Second quarter action about to get underway as McGree goes up against White in the 10-metre circle. Jesse White won it down. Snook had it, slapped it forward. Whistle gone as Heaslip tried to escape, and the Tigers will get the free through Matty Snook. Snook now drives Glenelg inside 50, looking for the tall targets down there. Spills out now to Partington. Sweeping hand pass off one step to Motlop in game 100. He's nailed it. Wow, there's the start Glenelg wanted. Marlon Motlop magic. Our first goal of the second quarter brought to us by Bone Timber, again providing quality timber since 1919, a 5th generation family business, and I'll tell you what, family name of Motlop's pretty well known in Sandful footy too.
Yeah, fantastic start by the Tigers. Got the clearance out through Snook in the middle. Good contest there by Josh Scott just to bring the ball to ground, and then they had the crummers and the handball came out to Marlon Motlop. and off a step. He kicked that from just inside 50. So that's a great start to the Tigers, but not the start South Adelaide wanted.
Checking your Power Red Arc scoreboard. Glenelg 4-1-25, 20-point margin now. Game high. The Panthers 5 behind, just over a minute gone. Back in the middle. White escapes to Motlop, who just kicked a goal, and he's full of confidence now. Kicked a half forward. He was looking for close. Worked underneath it by Haines. Comes out the back. Haines eventually grabs it. Harassed by Close, but he got it to Sampson, who drives the ball down the line to the outer side. Mark wasn't taken there by Proud. He got it to ground, though, out in front of Chalmers, and he'll see it across the boundary line in front of Joel Cross, and we'll have a boundary throw in right on centre wing. Straight across from your digital pass camera position here at Flinders University Stadium this afternoon. As the ball about to be thrown back in. Ruck set themselves. McGree up against White. McGree content to have a run at it. Davis came third man in, took it out of the ruck, got it quickly by hand to Sampson. Round the body kick, was looking for Whittlesey up there, but it was well spoilt by Proud. Gregson almost got the possession of the ball, but McGree now, the big man for the Panthers, gets it to Noble, switches back inside by hand to Lonergan. They're having to just mess around with it a bit here at the moment. They couldn't mess too much. Heaslip was looking for Rose, back to Heaslip, now to Little. Now can they kick it? Yes, they do, inside 50, and the mark's taken by Carpeney. A lot better structure eventually. Gee, I thought they overcooked it then, Grant, but it's worked out okay.
Yeah, it has a good forward entry there to South Adelaide. Carpeney, one of the first times we've seen him have a one-on-one contest in that forward 50, and he's a beautifully skilled player, Malcolm, and left-footer on the right side for a left-footer, Don. So hopefully for the Panthers, this is goal number 1.
They certainly need it. They need a response. They trail by 20 as Carpeney has a chance to fire the first goal for the Panthers, and he sprayed it across the face of goal, but the mark's been taken by Beamans, falling over in the pocket. And Anthony Beamans back from injury today. Well, this will be a nice start for him. It's a tough kick from here, though. What's he got ahead of him? He hasn't got a lot of goal face to look at all. He's sure to run around. Anthony Beamans. And his kick has nailed it. Straight off the boot. He knew it was through. The Panthers have got there first to the roar of the crowd. And they're 1-5-11. Reduces the margin to 14 on the Red Arc scoreboard. Glenelg 4-1-25, 3.5 gone.
Yeah, it was a fantastic mark falling down. And then the ability of modern players, Don, just to bring that ball around the body, it's amazing. It's just, I think the averages would have to be over 50% for the guys, even on the boundary line, to be able to curl the ball back in. It's amazing. Something
they certainly practice a lot after training, I'm sure, and they're getting really good at it because they can use that protected area to just open up the goal face that little bit, and a lovely kick by Anthony Beeman. So the Power Red Arc scoreboard, 14-point margin, still in favour of the Tigers. Only one lead change so far this afternoon. White went up in the ruck, got it down to Snook. He's being harassed by Heaslip. Somehow extricates the ball out to Motlop, who got it to White. White's kick around the body off the left foot. It's a free kick paid to Gregson. So the Tigers will go forward again. They're being questioned. They have the answers. Gregson took on the man on the mark, fires it deep inside 50. Scott sets himself. Well, he didn't have to be jumping Josh Scott, but he was juggling Josh Scott.
Yeah, had his name all over that. Jake Summerton's got the job on him, but he just lost him in the contest there, and just had a metre on him, and was just able to just judge the ball better than everyone else. And already kicked 1 in the first quarter. This should be number 2 for Josh Scott.
Almost directly in front. We'll kick it from only about 20 metres out. Summerton on the mark. Scott to the Onkaparinga end. And he has drilled it. He's got 2. And the Tigers, they're on the prowl again. They go to 5-1-31 now on the Power Red Arc scoreboard. They lead the Panthers 1-5-11, margin out to that game high 20 points, nearly 5.5 gone in the second quarter.
Yeah, and one player who's really benefited from having Lee McBean back at the club is Jesse White, because I think when we first saw him come over here, he played as a forward for the Tigers, but now the ability to play on ball where he's really well suited. We saw him involved in that clearance there. He's been one of the success stories for the Tigers today.
Jesse White, 12 disposals to this point, and he's doing it nicely in the ruck as well. He's having a really good day out at the office.
Could be my 3-2-1. Got to have someone 6'5" and over, Don.
There's another tap, but it was taken by Schwartz for the Panthers. He got it out the back to Noble, who kicks towards 50, and that's a great mark taken by Yates for the Tigers.
You mentioned he's started well, Don, Yates.
He definitely has, and he got it to Motlop, who thumps it now to half forward. Scott falling back into the pack courageously, picked up here by Bailey, spun around, just kicked it straight into the backside of Josh Scott, so he got one for his trouble. There's Betterman, though. His kick was picked off by Brad Crabb. Crabb uses Schwartz on return to the side this afternoon. His kick goes to a one-on-one. It's a 50-50 contest out there, which was won by Scharenberg. Had the chance to lower the eyes. He wanted Josh Scott. Couldn't find him, though. McGree's there for the Panthers. Over the top to Rose, who was just shoved out of the way. He got it to Noble. Noble now to Little. The Ginger Ninja, what can he conjure up? He looks for Whittlesea, and a free kick's been given away by Motlop. And have a listen to that, Grant Coffey. Don't you reckon the faithful, they're not just restless, they're about to rumble in the jungle here.
Yeah, well, we're right in front of the members stand here, so they always like to let the umpire know about it. That's a good mark by the youngster.
Great grab by McGree. And McGree's kick now towards half forward. He was looking for Bogle. Out the back now, chance for Carpenter. Puts the afterburners on, too slick for his own good with the bounce. Taken to the tackle by McCarthy. Got rid of it nicely. Overall, looking for Bogle. Nice little bit of candy shown. Back to Davis. They're backpedaling though. Now Schwartz squaring ball to a one-on-one. High leap over the top came from Tyson Brown. Out the back, the Tigers stand tall in the former Chalmers, but picked off by Beamans, the goal scorer already. Spun around on a dime. Lines him up, and he's got two. Anthony Beamans is firing his own shots this afternoon. Great play, the Panthers.
Yeah, really good stuff. They really attacked the footy there. Malcolm Carpenter started it. He tried to run inside forward 50, had one bounce and lost the handle of the footy, but they were good enough just to bring the ball back, centering ball. And that's a nice reply there to the South Adelaide team, right back in this game.
Thanks to the power of Red Arc, the scoreboard reads Glenelg 5-1-31, the Panthers 2-5-17. That margin back now to 14 points. Been out as high as 20. But I tell you what, Grant, the way South Adelaide are getting these goals, they're from creating some chaos and dysfunction with the Glenelg defence, and maybe that's the way to go.
Yeah, just the pressure around the contest. It always, whether it's perceived pressure or just pressure on the opposition, and that's what they did there, just to force that ball and have a shot on goal.
They're back in the contest, the Panthers, and in the contest now is Motlop, and charging through is Bailey. Back to Partington, who just parted the seas and just nearly hit up Snook with a nice pass. Play on, says the umpire. Gregson got it out the back here to Bailey. Bailey now kick inside 50, picked up by McBean. McBean lines him up from can't miss territory, and he slams it through. He's got two.
Yep, fantastic work by the Tigers once again. And Darcy Bailey just kicked the ball to the top of the square. Good contest once again by Josh Scott, but the ball came over the back. Lehman Bean made no mistake from a couple of metres out. Goal number 2, Don, makes it look pretty easy.
Yeah, well, it was a lot easier than goal number 1, I can tell you, which was from Mission Impossible angle. It made Tom Cruise proud, his first one. That one was from point blank range. So he's got 2. Josh Scott's got 2. Luke Reynolds and Marlon Motlop are the other goal scorers for the Tigers, while Anthony Beamans has the Panthers only 2 goals. We'll check your power of Red Arc scoreboard. Glenelg 6-1-37. The Panthers 2-5-17. Ticked over 9.5 minutes, 20-point margin in favour of the visitors. As we're back in the middle, jumping Jesse White, goes up against McGree. White won it down, Cross nearly had it. White's back in there again. Schwartz trying to get his way out of the tackle, but he couldn't. And the umpire will come in and let's do it again, he says. The Rucks go at it again. White wins it down. Schwartz spat himself right into trouble then, ran straight into shot. Ball came out and a free kick is going the way of the Panthers.
Yeah, big McGree. He attacked the footy there, got down low, and Jesse White just got him over the shoulder.
So McGree, a kick, it was looking for Bogle, but it was picked off then nearly, and by McBean. And the umpire will eventually come in and have another ball up. So just again, that decision-making, Grant, by the Panthers hasn't been the best at the times when it's needed to be.
Yeah.
So from the restart, the ball's just thrown out the back. Tyson Brown got a little hand pass to Little. He got it across the combination, the old combination, doing it nicely there. Emery for the Panthers. Good tackle applied to lock it in. And that'll be about 60 out from South Adelaide's goal. So another stoppage as Proud was held up in the contest there. McGree over the top this time, won the tap down. Disputed ball, charging through is Carpeney. Comes out the back here to Sampson eventually. Little hand pass, he was looking for Bogle, but didn't find him. Panthers, though, applying the pressure. It comes to Emery, who runs to 45, and Kyle Emery. Well, it's a big Kyle smile after kicking that one. That came out of nothing.
Yeah, and it was fantastic hands there by Malcolm Carpeney just to pick the ball up, give him a really sharp handball, put him into space, and he ran to about 35 to 40 metres out. On a pretty acute angle, though, and made no mistake. So South Adelaide, they keep responding, Don. They keep in this game.
They are right back in the game. Check of the Power Red Arc scoreboard, thanks to our great sponsors there. Glenelg 6-1-37, the Panthers 3-5-23. 8 scoring shots to 7, but they trail by 14 at nearly the 12-minute mark. So about to get going again. So Kyle Emery getting his first goal there.
Looks like they've got Tom Whittlesey having a run in the ruck now.
He'll go up against Jesse White. As we get underway again, no ruck clearly won that, but Partington got the clearance. He got it to close. He got a little chipping ball towards half forward. Doing well back there was Lonergan. Just worked Timmy Sumner underneath it.
Yeah, Sumner's been quiet so far.
Lonergan, usually sure by his left foot, and he is this time to Bogle, who has close on the mark. Tried to dance around him, thought about it. Now he's got to go short. Oh, that's a really low percentage type of kick. Picked off by Bradley. Went over the top of the head to Shot. Shot got it then to Reynolds. Eventually it comes out again to Close. Back to Reynolds, who kept running. Goes by the left foot to a one-on-one. McBean in position A. He only had to hold it, but he lost it. Charging through was Sumner. Couldn't soccer it off the ground. Defence under all sorts of pressure. Haynes eventually to Rose, and Rose to Little, and they're out of there. The pressure valve released.
Yeah, they did well, South Adelaide, because I think it was Bradley Crabb who got the spool into Liam McBean. He looked like he was going to swallow that one, but good spool there by Crabb just to stop the goal.
So now Matty Rose can get the Panthers out of defensive 50, and he does so. Flying over the top was Overall. Missed it, though. There's Yates involved in the contest again. Young man who's had it was a late inclusion, but he's done really well. He wrapped up Anthony Beeman's there, the multiple goal scorer for the Panthers. From the stoppage, I think we'll have another stoppage as the umpire comes in. So check your Power Red Arc scoreboard as we head towards 14 minutes gone. It's a 14-point margin. The Tigers 6-1-37, the Panthers 3-5-23. The ball kicked out of the pack here. It's taken by Tyson Brown. Went to go to the kick. He was arrested out of it by Partington, who wants a free kick himself, but we're going to have a boundary throw in. Right in front of the famous outhouse here at Flinders University Stadium. Big crowd this afternoon, lots of cars parked around. It's a great atmosphere, Grant.
Yeah, I've got my car just over there, just ready for the trip home.
Making sure it appears on the digital pass as Shot fires a shot out to Partington, who off a step blazes it inside 50. Nearly taken, ball at ground level there. Players diving on it, Crabb's there for the Panthers. Tyson Brown comes in as well. Players appealing for a free kick, but the umpire says I'll have none of that. And we'll have a throw up 25 metres out from goal. So 14 and a half gone. All thrown up. McBean got the tap down. Kick around the body by Shot. It's a high ball and Brad Crabb sits underneath it. And Crabb takes a nice mark. Uncontested in the goal square.
Yeah, a bit of experience, though, to push back. His man took the ruck contest, Liam McBean. He went back to the goal square.
Crabb goes short to Noble. Noble went short by hand to Davis, put him under all sorts of pressure. Has to go and help him out. Little chip kick over the top was clever by Noble to Schwartz. Schwartz now releases Brown. Brown over the top. They got him on the overlap here, South Adelaide. Overall's got a free man up forward in the former Whittlesey. Whittlesey turns around from 51 metres, fires it in to his free man in form of Emery. Can run in and kick goal number 2. Emery's got 2. The Panthers have got 4.
Yeah, really good work there by South Adelaide. They looked like they were going to mess it up in the defensive 50, but it was Noble who got the kick away, and then a series of handballs there. And it's one of those ones where the defender that's on a player always runs up to that next man, and it just created that overlap. And it was finished off with Emery, who's kicked goal number 2 for the quarter. So good response there by South Adelaide, and this game's going to go to the wire, I think, Don.
Nearly 16 minutes gone. The Power of Red Arc scoreboard shows the Tigers 6-1-37, a bit stagnant over the past few minutes. The Panthers 4-5-29, margin back to 8 points. It was 14 at the first change. So South Adelaide on top in quarter number 2 as we're back in the middle. With a good bounce, lets White leap at it. Another tap down, Snook. It just bounced off him. It's picked up by Noble for the Panthers. Goes backwards by hand a little with a chipping pass to Cross, who took it under heavy heat from Brad Close. Cross now, quick to play on. Finds Brown. Now they've got a little bit of confidence about them, South Adelaide, as Brown takes the ball towards half forward. Looking for Overall. Had it, lost it. Comes out the back. Kick around the body from Bogle. Play on, says the umpire, as Davis jumps on his Tigers opponent there, and he gives away the free kick.
He did everything right, Sam Overall, pushed his opponent out of the way, and it just hit the chest and bounced out. Would have been another shot on goal for the Panthers.
Chris Curran, the Tigers skipper, thumps this to left half back. A big mark, almost taken by McGree, but the crumbs were taken by Betterman, whose kick around the body was a little tumbler, and it was picked off by Carpeney, who was in the right spot at the right time. So Carpeney fires it out in front of Rose, had to dive and slide for it. Bailey was there, he was up to the task, but again the Panthers come out of it. Here's Little now with a kick inside 50, but well done by Maxi Proud. Mark or free kick, take your pick. Put himself in the right position then, eyes for the football, courageous stuff.
Yeah, we mentioned at quarter time he's having a career best season this year, and doesn't mind putting himself right in the spot there where he's going to have all the bodies clashing in him. Took a nice strong mark. And
it was a nice kick too to Scharenberg. He's been involved. He's been industrious, Johnny Scharenberg, and this kicks towards the wing as the runner slipped over. It's pretty slippery out there, and we'll have a boundary throw in as it was touched. So right on centre wing there. Flinders University Stadium, bathed in sunshine. 18 minutes gone, second quarter. It's the Tigers by 8. After these two sides drew in round 3. From the throw-in, Snook on hands and knees. Noble over the top of him. Bogle couldn't pick it up for the Panthers. Eventually, it comes to Betterman. He's stripped of the football. And the umpire says, well, we'll have another stoppage. So just a bit of an arm wrestle at the moment. No side can break clear from these stoppages. McGree got the tap down. Out the back was Little. This time, a clearing kick towards half forward. Players backing back into it. Overall, the recipient of a kind bounce out the back. Kick inside 50, and Beamans. Well, he worked his way to the front from Elliot Chalmers there. I didn't think he was in the right spot, but he found his way to the front. He's a strong man, Anthony Beamans. Pushed Chalmers out the way. Good mark.
Well, I think it was the kick as well. The kick was fantastic. Well-weighted kick. And Sam Overall, his recovery on that one, he was involved in the marking contest, went back in after it, picked the footy up, and then just put it to the right side of Beamans, who's kicked two already in this quarter.
Beamans on the runway, looking at goal number 3. Anthony Beamans kicks on its way, and he is Beeman. It's a Beemans. He's got 3, and he's got the Panthers right back in this contest.
And you just wonder where it's come from. They're just starting to get a few clearances and starting to, some of their forwards are starting to get involved. Obviously, Beemans has had a good quarter. Sammy Overall's had a couple of touches. Malcolm Carpeney's starting to get involved as well a bit around the ground. So South Adelaide are up and about at the moment.
Power of Red Arc scoreboard reads like this. The Tigers 6-1-37. The Panthers 5-5-35. So a 2-point margin now. It was 14 at the main change. It's been as much as 20. It's back to within 1 straight kick as we head towards time on of the second quarter in this round 10 clash of your Sandful Statewide Super League. Back in the middle, White got the tap down. Stolen by Schwartz, just ripped himself out of the tackle, but it was picked up here then by McBean. McBean's kick around the body, bouncing ball, charging through. There was Timmy Sumner, bundled a couple out of the way. Crab's thrown out of it, but Little was clever. Got it to Schwartz, who's stripped of it, and the Sumner tackle rewarded for a heavy pressure tackle then, Timmy Sumner. And he goes short because he's got an option there, and the option was in the form of Marlon Motlop off another step. Oh, backing back was Reynolds, just couldn't take the mark there. Good pressure from Summerton and a minor score. So check of your scoreboard before comments from Grant Coffey. 6-2-38 the Tigers, Panthers 5-5-35.
Yeah, fantastic work there by Hayden Sampson. He found himself deep there against Luke Reynolds, who had the height and the strength, but he was able just to push back, put enough body against him just to force that through for a rush behind.
Right on cue, Sampson's kick's good to Schwartz. The Nick Schwartz has it, left half back, right in front of the Jimmy Dean grandstand, full of Panthers faithful, and the floating kick's a nice one too to Whittlesea. Don't know what happened there. It wasn't called a mark, it was called play on. Comes out the back, swooping down, picking up like a chip like from a seagull was McGree, who got it to Fit. Fit lines him up. Will it carry? It won't carry through. It's right on the goal line. Players pile in on top of it, and we'll have a ball up within centimetres of the South Adelaide goals here.
How was the pick up by McGree? One-handed, he looked like a midfielder.
I'll tell you what, it was nice and clean as the ball's thrown up. It can't be rushed through. Well, it can be now, and it is. A minor score to the Panthers. They go to 5-6-36. The Tigers 6-2-38.
1 year we tighten up on that rule, then the next year we just let it go back to how it was, Don. If you can't rush it, you can't rush it.
Well, it's there on the scoreboard, but I agree with you. The rushed is rushed, but Sampson has it, so it can come back. Inside 50.
Yeah, the deliberate rule's the one we're talking about, yep.
So tough kick here. Hayden Sampson seems to want to back himself in, has the breeze at his back.
The boys that do this at training all the time, so he'd know his distance.
So he'll kick it from just outside 50. Will it get the carry? It's going to land at the top of the goal square. Big pack flying, another rush behind to South Adelaide. So 5-6-36 now. They are the Tigers 6-2-38. So back to a 2-point margin.
Yeah, fantastic quarter by South Adelaide. They've had most of the play, and the Tigers, it's been pretty hard work for them this quarter.
Might have to check that scoreboard too. They might have missed a point on the scoreboard here at the ground. We have it 37 plays 38 on your digital pass. In the meantime, the Tigers have it through Snook. Snook goes wide and finds Scharenberg. He just steadies the ship at the moment. We'll confirm those scores for you very shortly. Scharenberg.
Oh, dangerous.
Goes short over the top. It's going to be picked off here by Sampson. Sampson needs support. Has it in the form of Noble. Noble's hand pass was good to Fit. Fit to Davis. Davis, little chipping pass. He was looking for cross. Nearly picked off by Scharenberg. Charging through was Betterman. Banged it on the boot. Looking for Scott. Big punch over the top by Summerton was good. Great shepherd provided by Crabb. Allowed Summerton to go short to McGree. Clean hands again shown by the big man, but the kick let him down. Betterman nearly had it. Charging through for the Tigers. Here's Bradley. Has a chance to take a bounce. Lowers the eyes. Saw an option, but he missed it in the form of Partington, and it's picked off by Carpeney to Rose. Rose's little squeezing kick, though, didn't hit his target in Schwartz, and he's wrapped up as Scharenberg does real well. We'll have a ball up inside the centre square.
Been really impressed with McGree's work around the ground, Don. I'm not sure what his background is, but got some real good hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, he certainly picks the ball up clean when it's at ground level, and it's pretty good for a big man. Speaking of big men, Davis, well, he had his kick smothered. Charging in here now is Carpeney. Taken high, and he'll get a free kick. So Malcolm Carpeney, been involved in this second quarter. He's your man, Grant Coffey.
They need to get him more on the ball, I think, because that's where he's going to do the most damage. He uses the ball really well.
Goes short to Heaslip, who's had a quiet second quarter. He goes back to Carpeney, so just working the clock down at the moment. I'm sure Jared Wright would rather see them pressing as they do now. Escaping's Joey Haines. Burst of speed about him to half forward, nearly inside 50. Great mark taken by Beamans, who's been electric in this second quarter. So Anthony Beamans looks forward. Too far out to score, you'd think, but it's a thumping kick to the top of the goal square. Mark's taken. A magnificent finger tipper taken right on the top of the goal square there.
I think it's Sampson
I think
again,
it is
Don.
Sampson. Yeah. You're right, Grant Coffey.
Uncontested too. No Glenelg player went up to spoil, which is unbelievable. Sampson, he's not a tall guy. He's a midfielder wingman, and he was able just to take an overhead mark there without any pressure.
Stands 177 centimetres, and he put his little levers up there, the son of a gun. Of course, the son of Clay. Where's the 24, Hayden Sampson? We're right behind this on the digital pass. Get a real good look at Sampson lining up, and Sampson kicking the goal. He's got his first. South Adelaide have got the lead back. They're 6-6 now, 42. They lead the Tigers 6-2, 38. What a turnaround, Grant Coffey.
Well, you would have hoped that they could win the quarter and be within a couple of goals, but all of a sudden they've hit the front, South Adelaide, and Sampson's only kicked the 1 goal to date. This is his 11th game of footy playing on the wing. Looks like Luke Reynolds has got the job on him as we see the players go back into position, but that was fantastic work by Sampson. We saw him here down saving a goal a moment ago, Don, and all of a sudden, a couple of minutes later, he's kicking one up the other end.
He's had a brilliant quarter, and he's had a brilliant finish there to kick his first goal. 6 goals in the quarter to South Adelaide. They've got the lead back by 4 points in a massive turnaround. These two sides are renowned for having great clashes. This is another one of them. From the restart, here's Carpenter trying to work his way through traffic. Picked off here, stolen now by Jesse White. Thumped a big high altitude ball to Scott. Scott couldn't take the mark. Close was clever. Did well to Reynolds. Reynolds prop stop, got onto the left boot. Free kick holding on, paid to Brad Crabb. Let the crowd do the talking here, Grant. Oh, to the big cheers. I think it was pretty obvious.
Yeah, it was obvious.
Liam McBean just telegraphed that one to the umpire. And now Crabb goes sideways to Summerton. And Summerton takes the mark. Right half back. Well, the Panther faithful, they've come to life here, Grant, in the grandstand. A lot more cheers than jeers in this second quarter. As Summerton goes down the line to the wing. Pack sets themselves. Overall was there, so was Ubergang for the Tigers, and the boundary line wins out. We'll have a throw in. 27.5 minutes gone nearly in this quarter.
It was a free kick too high. So South Adelaide, here they go again, Don.
So the Panthers go forward. Inside 50. Mismatch back there. Chalmers and Noble out the back. Noble, if he can pick it up, he's half a chance. But he was tackled in the process. And we'll have a ball up. We're going to check that scoreboard for you.
Yeah,
Power of Red Arc scoreboard.
He just needed to be clean there with the pickup. There would have been another goal there to the Panthers.
We'll give you the correct score. It is on the digital pass, 6-7-43. So it's a 5-point margin. Make that a 6-point margin now. As South Adelaide go to 6-8 now, 44. Leading the Tigers 6-2-38. So they've done it in inches, but they've made up miles in this quarter.
Yep.
So from the restart, Maxi Proud has it in the left back pocket. So the Tigers, who went to the first change, 14 points up. It's been a 20-point turnaround. The ball now at half back for Glenelg. Motlop's in there. Heaslip just hovering over the top, waiting for the ball to come out. The umpire says, you dragged it in. That's holding the ball, and the free kick will go the way of Luke Reynolds for the Tigers. There's the siren to sound half-time. South Adelaide fans extremely happy with that quarter. They kicked 6 goals, and they have the lead at half-time on the Power of Red Arc scoreboard. South Adelaide 6-8-44. They lead Glenelg by 6 points, 6-2-38. Let's check your goal scorers for South Adelaide firstly. 3 to Anthony Beamans, 2 to Kyle Emery, and 1 to Hayden Sampson. And for the Telstra store at Glenelg, your Glenelg goal scorers, 2 each to Josh Scott and Liam McBean, and singles to Luke Reynolds and Marlon Motlop. And while you have a look at some more stats, thanks to those two.
Hi, I'm Dan and this is Jack, and this is our Panthers story. One of our favourite memories being Panthers supporters was last year when we got to sing a club song after a home win against North Adelaide. It was a really, really good thing. Jack was the mascot for the day. The whole club was brilliant. We'd already loved the club, and it made us fall in love with the club even more so. It's fantastic being a home member. It's good value. We have a great day out. Obviously, kids go in for free anyway, so Jack's membership's is a bonus on top of that. And it just feels like we're supporting the club that little bit more as well, and it's good fun. We get to know everybody. We feel like it's a true home only after a few years. We like the navy blue and white. That's one thing. And
I was almost going to go for Norwood.
But you wouldn't change your mind now, would you?
No.
What we love about going to South Adelaide games, we love watching the footy. Jack and I love having a kick of the footy on Noarlunga Oval. A nice soft drink for Jack if he's been good, and even a feed at Jimmy Dean's Bistro. It's great fun.
When we win, I get to have a kick on the oval more time.
It's great value for money. It's a wonderful way of bonding connections between a father and son, as I've found out. And it's getting in touch with your local community as well. I think nothing really beats it.
Had a few kind and unkind words at half-time around their performance, that they need to control the ball a lot more and get their defenders a little bit more organised, because, as I said, I thought it was, just from my perspective, Grant, from up here, that it was the more chaotic it got when the ball went forward for South Adelaide, the more they got numbers down there and they just kept the pressure, that it disorganised Glenelg, and they managed to find some ways through there. And Anthony Beamans, I think it's really suited the way that he plays, the way the game's been played today.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And he's one of those players, he's hard at the foot, isn't he? He's got a strong body.
Yes.
Strong body. He can play a number of different roles, but to kick 3 goals in that quarter has got his side back into the game. And I was pretty impressed that quarter as well. We mentioned just before we went to the break, Cameron McGree, only 20 years of age, 197 centimetres, going up against Jesse White, who's the same size, but has got obviously some kilos on him. But I was really impressed with some of his work at ground level. Picked up a couple of loose balls, kicked the ball well, and just his hand-eye looks really good. So he's a player for the future for the Panthers, no doubt about that.
Yes, he's a fresh-faced looking man. Red hair, they go all right down here with the red hair. Nick Little goes all right, and we're underway in the third quarter, but White beat into the Burley that time, got the tap down. Heaslip was quick to gather it though, got it to Davis. Davis fires it out to a one-on-one here with Little up against Betterman, and the free kick has gone to Betterman. So Finn Betterman quickly gets on with things, goes short. He's looking for his intended target of Corey Gregson, who takes the mark out in front of Davis. Gregson now had a time with the Geelong Cats. He's come back to Glenelg and he fires that one back to Chris Curran, who just kicks it back across the goals inside defensive 50 to Matt Ubergang, who he goes short and finds Elliot Chalmers at true half back. So Chalmers shielding his eyes from the sun on this perfect day. He scampers off and takes the ball to the outer side wing, and a lovely lead up and mark taken by Josh Scott.
He sort of fell over with the foot. He was like he didn't swallow that ball. He got down really low.
Really protected the area, took a nice mark, looking for Motlop, outpointed on that occasion by Rose. The 2 number 8s locking horns. Close was good though. Gets the Tigers back inside their attacking 50. Stripped of it was Lonergan. They have a chance to go forward, and the mark's taken by Reynolds. A real strong mark out in front of Joey Haines there. So the build-up wasn't pretty, but the result is real handsome.
I'm not sure who kicked that off the ground, Don, but it was a nice little slipper that he put into it, and Luke Reynolds, who was playing in front, just fell into his arms. And Luke Reynolds, who started on a wing in the first half, looks like he's moved forward now. He's kicked the 1 goal in the first quarter so far.
He can go back and make it 2, and he can wrestle the lead back for the Tigers. We've only had 2 lead changes so far this afternoon. Luke Reynolds lining up from 35 out, and he makes no mistake. The Tigers have got the first of the third, and they've got the lead back. Luke Reynolds strikes. He's got 2, and that opening goal of our third quarter is brought to us by Bone Timber Industries, providing quality timber since 1919, a 5th generation family business, and Luke Reynolds doing it really nicely. As we said, he put it right between the tall Bone Timbers.
Yeah, and maybe they thought, the coach might have thought that they were just a bit top heavy in the forward line, and they decided to start Luke Reynolds on the wing, but already Betterman's been involved a couple of times. He actually got the free kick from Little there when South Adelaide was away, just to turn that footy back in the Tigers' direction. So that's a good start by them.
Power of Red Arc scoreboard. It's actually a locked away ball game, 44 apiece. So I got a little bit excited then, Grant, but Schwartz has got the ball now and
you can do that,
slung in the tackle, got it to McGree. Here go the Panthers on the charge again. Davis just ran straight into the front of Maxi Proud there. Got one high round the gob, and Abe Davis will get the free kick, and he'll strike it from about 45 metres out, directly in front to the Onka Paringa end.
Yeah, good contest by both players there, but Davis got low, and looks like Maxi Proud just got him a bit too high. And Abe Davis, normally a pretty good kick, and this one here, he'll just need to I'm not sure what the line is doing there, Don. You called a bit of right to left before, but I'm not sure if there's a bit of left to right. A bit of World Cup action. I think they're
it's
moving
swinging around at the moment as
is.
Davis, we'll see from the kick from 46 metres, directly in front. Has it got the carry? It has. Davis strikes a blow for the Panthers. Well, there's the response. They take the lead back. So the scores go from locked to unlocked in South Adelaide's favour. Davis with his first.
Just chipped at the ball there. It was lucky that wasn't touched on the line. One of the players, I think might have been Ubergang, was pleading with the umpire to say he did touch it, but the umpire said no, not having any of that. And there won't be a review, it's a goal. So good work there by Abe Davis. He's been one of South Adelaide's best today, kicking his first goal of the game in the third.
Just got enough carry on it, so check at the Power Radark scoreboard. South Adelaide 7-8-50, lead Glenelg 7-44, 6-point margin, 4 minutes gone, third quarter. Great contest here at Flinders University Stadium as we're back in the middle. McGree went early, got the tap down. Snook looking for it, hands and knees, somehow extricated it and got it out to Partington, who just blasted it to about 30 out. Big fly at the back there. Mark wasn't quite taken. It is Mark.
Yep.
It is being paid, and it's going to go to Josh Scott, who just took a very, very strong pack mark then, falling backwards, and he'll go back. The distance certainly won't be a problem, and the accuracy shouldn't either for a sharpshooter of his class. He's got 2 already. He could make it 3, and he could lock the scores away again.
Yeah, it looked like it nearly spilled out as he hit the ground, but the umpire said he had enough of it. So Josh Scott, who we know marks the footy so well, distance won't be an issue for him here.
To the Colonnades end of Flinders University Stadium, Josh Scott, 2 to his name already. And this can make it 3. Kicks on its way, straight as an arrow. He's got 3. We've got a tied away ball game again. 8-50, plays 7-8-50. Comments from Grant Coffey.
Yeah, he's such a dangerous player, Josh Scott. He's a hard matchup because he's got some pace. We saw him just attack the footy on the outer wing before, took a nice mark. But in the air, if you don't have the height to go with him, he can jump all over you. He's already kicked 3 goals in this game, and with Lachlan Hosey, as we mentioned before the game, Don being drafted by the mid-year draft of the Kangaroos, he's a great inclusion into this side.
Yeah, look, you thought for most other teams, you lose a player of the class of Lachlan Hosey and it can leave a real hole in the side.
Yeah.
But when you've got Josh Scott comes back in, you've got Liam McBean, you've got White that can go up forward, you've got Reynolds. So they have a swag of them. We've got a tied away ball game, 50 apiece, back in the middle. And that was a 50-50 contest as well. Quite literally between the 2 rucks, and we'll have a secondary stoppage. So these 2 sides back in round 3 had a draw, and the scores are tied away at the moment as Schwartz tries to just fend off his own teammate there, and in the process the umpire says he had no prior opportunity, and we'll have another throw up over the top, this time Davis, taken here by Betterman. His chipping little kick is good to Gregson, who took it out in front of Tyson Brown. Gregson now, low type of dart ball is a good one and finds McCarthy, who's had a quiet start to the game. McCarthy on the left leg. It's a good kick right out in front of a sliding, diving Josh Scott. So getting plenty of it at the moment, Josh Scott. He's here, there, and he's everywhere, and he was on the end of a nice kick.
Yeah, and no one went with him on the lead there. That was one of those ones. It might have been a block off the footy that just gave him that space, but he had all the pocket to lead into. The kick was a good one from McCarthy. Just put it into space, and Josh Scott, nothing's beyond him, Don. He's kicked 3. This could be number 4.
If ever a man can kick one from this position, it will be Josh Scott. He's got the power. It's just a question of the accuracy. Starts his approach, opens up the goal face a little bit of right to left, a little bit of right to left. Oh, the celebration is just as good as the goal. Josh Scott's got 4, and the Tigers have got the lead back now.
Yeah, what a response there by the Tigers. They just keep responding. South Adelaide have done everything to hit the front, but Glenelg have come back, and 2 goals to Josh Scott already in this third quarter. As we mentioned, the kick was an absolute ripper there from McCarthy, who's been a bit quieter in this game so far, but he's got such a penetrating long kick. He just put it out in that pocket, and Scott, who's got some great pace, And you can see just going back on him at the moment, looks like Summerton's got the job on him, and they just can't give Scott any space to run into.
The big guns are firing for the Tigers in the third quarter. Scott's got 2, Reynolds has got 1. 3 third quarter goals gives the Tigers back the lead on the Power of the Arc scoreboard as from the restart. He slips wrapped up, and we'll have a secondary stoppage. So we'll check your Power of the Arc scoreboard again. Glenelg 9-2-56, the Panthers 7-8-50. Third lead change. Players just diving around in the middle of the ground here. Cross-farmed it out. Stolen by Scharenberg. Picked up by Yates, who found some clear space to release Shot. Shot got his kick away under pressure. Bobbles inside 50. Comes outside 50 just as quick. Taken by Rose. He's wrapped up and will have a ball up. As Darcy Bailey just made sure. Matty Rose went nowhere. The ball up will be about 55 metres out from goal. So the Tigers kicking to the Colonnades end. It's in their forward region at the moment. White wrapped up. And umpire Schramm says you're wrapped up too well, and we'll have another throw up. So again, stagnant at the moment. It's been a cracking contest as White slaps it backwards to Partington off the left shoe inside 50. High ball. Going back was Summerton, forced, got a fist on it, got a kick away, and if it goes out of bounds, the Tigers will get possession, and it does, and they will, and they'll get it through Finn Betterman. So Betterman now plays on quickly, gets it straight back to whence it came from. Top of the goal square direction, flying high was McGree, couldn't take the mark. Ball at ground level now. Under pressure, McGree got a little kick away. It was taken fortuitously by Carpeney. Carpeney's kick, though, went straight through Ubergang. Nice bounce, though, for Bradley. So the Tigers have possession again, and Bradley chips short and finds Chalmers, who squares it wide to Shot. Shot now, looking inboard, looking longer, looking for a lead-up. Had it in the form of McBean. He was tag team, 2-on-1. Crabb and McGreen did well. Here's Bailey in there for the Tigers, though. Diving in players. Can't get any possession there. Sampson's in there for the Panthers, and we'll have a ball up.
Yeah, good work there by the Tigers, just holding that ball in the forward 50 at the moment, looking to put some more scoreboard pressure on the Panthers.
They lead it by 6 on the Power of the Arc scoreboard. Third quarter action on your digital pass. Another ball up. We've gone just about 10.5 minutes of this third quarter. Thrilling contest. As we said, these two sides had that infamous draw in round 3.
Could be heading there again, Don.
Well, it's all set up, isn't it? It's a game that, Grant, seems like you said it's going to go right down to the wire.
I think it will.
Both sides locking horns at the moment. White, free kick whistle. Well, usually when we have successive ball ups, there usually is, and they're away now through cross the Panthers to half forward off the advantage of the free kick. Trying to work his way out of trouble there was Emery, and he's wrapped up in the tackle. Going nowhere, and we'll have a ball up. Kyle Emery kicked a couple of goals this afternoon. As we said, he's only played a few games. This is game number 7, but he's done really well this afternoon.
He's dropped that.
Well, and there's a free kick to Carpeney.
Yep.
Good call,
tackle.
umpire Coffey.
This is the kick, the one inside forward 50.
So Whittlesea's gone back to be a taller target as well with Overall. Carpeney plays on. It's going to go to the top of the goal square. Setting himself. Ubergang flying at the back was proud to force the spoil up against Overall and Whittlesea. We'll have a boundary thrown right next to the behind post, Grant.
The Tigers once again, Don, they just pushed some numbers back in the defensive 50, so Overall just had no space to lead into.
Clogging them up nicely at the moment. They lead it by 6, the Tigers. Ball thrown back in. Working his way to the front was McGree for the Panthers. Kick was smothered, but running onto it. Well, that's a great goal. Carpeney came from nowhere. Overall's kick was smothered, but Carpeney's kick wasn't, and it went straight through.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a fresh area there by Overall, but the footy, because of that, the footy there bounced out towards Malcolm Carpeney, and he's kicked his first goal of the game. And not have been it was only got game number 11. I think he played maybe one game before he got drafted. So all those other games have been here at South Adelaide, and that was for the Eagles. So goal number 1 today. So South Adelaide are back once again.
Yes, scores tied away on the Power of Red Arc scoreboard thanks to Red Arc Electronics. South 8-8-56. The Tigers 9-2-56. 16 scoring shots against 11. Well, we'll see how those Missed opportunities for South Adelaide pan out later in the day, but at the moment we're tied away, 56 apiece. Back in the middle, White goes up against McGree. McGree had it, lost it, picked up by Little. Little hand pass out the back to Schwartz, who escapes the traffic. Got a hand pass nearly towards half forward, but Bradley running onto it, dispossessed in the tackle. Advantage taken now here by Davis. Davis on the end of it. It's a beautiful kick to Emery, who just got some space and separation. Again, it was a disorganised Glenelg defence. They just didn't know who was going which way. Kyle Emery just took off on the end of a lovely kick from Davis, and he has a chance for his third.
And Kyle Emery, gee, he looks a lot like Sam Overall, doesn't he? He
does.
When he was leading at the footy there, you would have sworn it was Sam Overall, but that was a great mark and a beautiful kick once again by Abe Davis.
Showed a bit of toe about him then, Kyle Emery. So he kicks towards the southern or Onkaparinga end of Flinders University Stadium here, twirling the ball in hand. A nice approach, a nice kick, a lovely kick. He's got three, and South Adelaide have the lead back in a real seesawing battle here at Flinders University Stadium.
Yeah, once again, South Adelaide just it was a pretty good tackle there where they got the free kick, playing advantage, came out towards Davis. And we've mentioned a couple of times, Don, and I think you mentioned it early on as well, you'd like to see him get more of his footy forward, and that's what he did on that occasion, being able to kick the ball inside that forward 50, and he uses the ball so well, and kick it to space. That's what you should learn, teach the youngsters how to kick the ball to a forward. You don't have to kick it on top of their head, kick it to space that they can run into, and that was a fantastic example of that.
Definitely was. Back in the middle, White got the tap down against Whittlesea this time. Davis searching for it again. Schwartz in there for the Panthers. Whittlesea's back there on hands and knees. Farmed out by Betterman though. Free ball. Sampson was the first to arrive. Hurdling him was Close in hot pursuit. So Close might have given away the free kick then to Rose, and he has. Yep. So desperation, just giving away the free kick as Rose quickly gets on with it. Goes to half forward. There's another example of kicking into space as Carpenty's on the end of it. He got it out in front of Yates. Carpenty quick now. There's another example. Just didn't have the carry for Overall, but he's got the smarts to get around his opponent and proud. High ball. Ubergang caught underneath it. Emery underneath it as well, and the boundary line wins out. Throw in 15 around from the behind post to the end, which the Panthers kick to, and they lead it by 6.
Yeah, they look a lot more dangerous at the moment. All of a sudden, Carpenty's starting to get his hand on the footy as well, and some good leads there on that occasion by Sam Overall. But see if they can get something out of this, South Adelaide.
White won it down. Chalmers was good through heavy traffic to Proud, who eventually got it to Close. Close's kick goes to half back right, looking for Scott. Picked up here though now by Crab. Crab, whistle gone.
Yeah, holding the ball, the umpire said.
Couldn't get his hand pass away. Josh Scott was too good for him, too quick, too clever. Scott's kick's good to Close. Close goes wider and finds Partington, who escaped the Whittlesea tackle. Partington's kick now. Well, another whistle gone. Fortune favouring the Tigers at the moment from the men in green as Reynolds has it. Kicked now towards half forward for the Tigers. Setting himself, nearly taking the mark there was Chalmers, and the umpire said he was interfered with illegally. So Elliot Chalmers will take the free kick and send Glenelg forward.
South Adelaide faithful not happy, Don.
Certainly not. I think we got the message from them then as he kicks to the top of the goal square. Big pack flies out the back. It comes from Reynolds. Reynolds kick around the body, and he's got it. Oh, well, lucky Luke strikes again.
Well, there's no luck in that. That is just practice. That was on his right foot, wasn't it? He's a left footer. That was on his right foot. That is just years and years of practice. And when the moment comes, you make the most of it. That's how you make your luck, Don. Training and practice.
Well, there you go. Thanks for filling in the gaps, Grant, because Lucky and Luke was all I could come up with in the heat of the moment. He takes a big mark. Leaping Luke's a lot easier.
That's exactly right.
But he did create his own luck there with a lot of class too, I can tell you. Luke Reynolds, he's got 3 goals, 1 in the first, 2 in this third, and I tell you what, we're back to a locked-away ball game on the Power of an Arc scoreboard. 10-2-62 the Tigers. The Panthers 9-8-62. There's some fist waving up here in the grandstand. They're not happy, but we've got a cracking game of Sandful Statewide Super League Right in front of us as Motlop got a hand pass. It was nearly intercepted by Schwartz. Slapping it out was Bogle for the Panthers. Wide in there for the Tigers. Tackled. Got rid of it somehow. The crowd appealing for a free kick. Snook was good to Ubergang, who blasted towards half forward. Sitting underneath, it's McCarthy. Good wrestle with Rose. Oh, that was clever from Matty Rose. Out to Brown. Brown to Heaslip. Heaslip over the top by hand to Sampson. Here come the Panthers. They've got a man down at half forward. Grant Coffey's all over that one as Anthony Beeman sees it over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in, and I think it's Sam Overall, Grant.
Yeah, I think he might have just got one in the just in the men's area, which is a bit slow to get up from, Don. I think he'll be okay.
Well, let's hope he is, because he's a key ingredient for South Adelaide's success.
Just getting his breath back.
So we'll have a bit of a lull in play here while the trainers attend to Sam Overall. In the meantime, Andrew Bradley scampers off to the interchange area. Boundary throw in, scores locked away. 9-8-62 South, Glenelg 10-2-62. Thrown in. Heaslip in there trying to take it. Hands and knees, Snook. Got it out the back to Gregson, who uses Chalmers as the exit kick now. Chalmers' kick dropped by Summerton. Is there a free kick going to Josh Scott again? Yeah. So he's really on top in that contest this afternoon, Grant.
I didn't think there was much in that one, though. Both players just wrestling. It's just a marking contest.
Well, there doesn't have to be much in it, Grant. If a free kick's there,
well,
it's there.
They're both wrestling. It's play on, Don.
And play on does Joel Cross. He's opposite number 19, Proud. Met it hard. Couldn't take it, though. He's met by little tackling strength. It was very good then. And we'll have a ball up. So the umpire about to hurl it skywards. Third man up was Heaslip. Gave Noble a good look at it. Stripped of it and a strong Snook tackle. Kicked off the ground. Favours Cross. Heard a little voice in the former Bogle. It was met high by Sharonberg, and the umpire's all over that one. And Elliot Chalmers just threw it straight back in his gob. Said, here you go. So he managed to escape the wrath of the umpire there as Bogle bangs it forward to the top of the goal square. Big fly! Up over the top, Sammy Overall. Well, he's recovered all right. I'll tell you what, he's plucked that one right out of thin air.
Yeah, fantastic work there as the spotlight player. Don, who was that? Josh Scott?
Player spotlight for us in this quarter, Josh Scott, and that's thanks to the ACH group. Great sponsors of the Tigers. He's had a great quarter, but Sam Overall can have a great moment here. He can give South Adelaide back the lead. And he does. Sammy Overall has got his first. South Adelaide have got the lead back, fifth lead change.
Yeah, you wouldn't have imagined that Sam Overall would have got his first goal in the third quarter. He's still trying to get his air back from his previous knock that he had, but that was a fantastic mark. Flew for the footy, Don. He was the only one who really wanted it in the air. And he's got a strong set of hands and made no mistake. So a bit of feeling in this game, though. There's a bit of push and shove, and the crowd starting to get into it as well.
Always a great battle between these two sides. So Sam Overall becomes the sixth individual goal scorer for South Adelaide. They lead the contest 10-8-68 to Glenelg 10-2-62 on the Power of a Dark scoreboard. Josh Scott, our player spotlight player for the ACH group. 21 and a half gone, back in the middle. White got the tap down, stolen by Cross. Uses Noble out the back, who has some free space, but under pressure the kick goes high. Wide, big fly by Gregson. Comes to ground, Little kept his feet. Hand pass looking for his mate in Cross. Stripped of it when he didn't have it, said the crowd. The umpire said it was okay, and it was going to result in a ball up 55 metres out from South Adelaide's goal.
Yeah, good contest in the air by both sides there. They just all flew for the footy, so no one wants to give an inch at the moment.
Nothing's going to be left on the park here this afternoon, I can tell you. It's give all. No quarter asked, no quarter given. Sharonberg's kick, a bouncing ball for McBean. Managed to get down well, got it to Bailey. Bailey into open space. It's a foot race now. Leading it there in the race is Scott. Scott did well, got it out the back to Reynolds. Reynolds has time to steady, line up the goals. Oh, I tell you what, did he have time to line them up, and he's drilled it. He's got 4.
Yeah, well, fantastic work there by Josh Scott. Got down and picked up the footy, handballed it off there towards Luke Reynolds, and he was looking for a centering kick. He didn't know when to kick it to, Don. So as a goal kicker, what do? You have a ping at them, and he was hemmed up right against the boundary line, and he made that look pretty easy.
Did he ever? He just had the time and the poise and the balance just to look inboard. There was nothing there, so he looked at the big sticks and he said, well, there's room there. I'll drill it.
And remember what I said, Don? Practice makes perfect.
Well, obviously, Luke Reynolds has been doing a lot of practice. He's got 3 third-quarter goals. He's locked us away again on the Power of an Arc scoreboard. Tigers 11-2, 68. South 10-8, 68. Back in the middle, 23 gone. Scintillating contest here this afternoon. Ground level ball spits out the back here. Chance for Close to pick it up. He uses Partington nicely, who has time to look upfield. Goes to a 50-50 contest. Summerton was good there. Leads in the race. Snook on his hammer and tack and paddles it towards the boundary line and will have a throw in. Oh no, we're going to have a free kick going the way of the Panthers. It's a last disposal free kick, so it will go the way of Ben Heaslip in game number 50. Sends it to centre wing. Big fly at the back there, came from McGree, couldn't take the mark. Partington between traffic with a low dart ball, which was good. Now they escape now. They go forward through Gregson from long range, goes to the top of the goal square. Good work back there by Tyson Brown though for the Panthers. Got it to Haines and Haines just chips it short to Sampson. Thought about going on with it. Hayden Sampson just steadies now in the shadows. They're creeping onto the western side of Flinders University Stadium, so he squares it to Lonergan, and Lonergan goes across the face of goal to Rose. Rose now, his kick searching for Summerton, being worn by Close. Gets a hand pass of sorts away. Ball still in play. Snook's in there for the Tigers. Sumner is sweating on it, and the umpire says, I'll have it. So check your Power of an Arc scoreboard. 24 and a half gone. 68 apiece. Glenelg 11-2. South Adelaide 10-8.
Yeah, good work there by the Tigers. They wouldn't let South Adelaide kick down the line there, push them wide to the other side, and now they've locked it back in.
McGree got the tap down, looking for cross. Partington was there as well. Good battle between those two. Scharenberg, nice little hand pass. Good vision out the back to Yates. Stripped of it, and the Liam Fitt tackle takes the advantage, goes to Brown. They work it now inside. Looking for Bogle. Bogle's hand pass to Davis. Went one way, then the other. Decides to line them up, load up, looking for Emery. Punch over the back here. It's going to fall away of Sampson. Can he dance his way around traffic? He uses little, goes back to Emery. Emery off a step. Oh, Emery!
Touch.
Kyle Emery, it was touched. Wow. I tell you what, deprived of a miraculous goal, but a point which breaks the deadlock on the Power of an Arc scoreboard. South Adelaide now go to 69 points. They lead it over Glenelg 68, 10-9, plays 11-2.
Yeah, they're match-saving acts there by the Tigers. That could have easily been a goal, but one of the defenders got their hand to it.
One of the great points of the season. I'm going to put that one down too, as Yates has it for the Tigers. Thought about the short option, then said, no, I'm going to get it out of enemy territory quickly. He was looking for Jesse White. Out-pointed, front and square was Cross. Cross got it back then. Used Summerton, who got it to Noble. Now back to Cross. Cross off a couple of steps towards left half forward. And a mark taken by Scharenberg. Touched off the boot. Immediately plays on to Yates. Yates looking for Partington. Picked up by Noble, and he's wrapped up in a crocodile type of wrestle. It looked like Steve Irwin just grabbing a croc up north there in his heyday. Crikey, it was a good tackle.
Yeah, it was a good tackle. Otherwise, South Adelaide, another forward entry.
From the restart, being shoved off the ball was McGree in no uncertain terms. Picked up by Partington here. Another possession for him. He's getting amongst it. And the ball eventually will be pushed over the boundary line by Summerton for the Panthers. And we'll see a throw in on centre wing. Just attacking side for the Tigers. They trail it by a point. 11-2, they are 68, the Tigers. Panthers 10-9, 69. Nearly 27 gone. Ball thrown back in. Little in there with a good tackle. So there we go. As Betterman kicks it over the top of the pack there. Bouncing ball comes out to Partington. Partington now, little squaring kicks, nice. Came back inboard to the corridor and found Shot. Shot now. His kick was smothered. Picked up though by Betterman. Betterman gets it back in the 1-2. Whistle gone, a free kick South Adelaide. Nick Little, the recipient.
Wouldn't be too much longer to go, Don.
Wouldn't think so. It's a lovely kick to Joel Cross. He's got Davis if he's quick enough. He was on the wrong side, unbalanced, but he's got Heaslip.
Yeah, good work there by by South Adelaide and also by Joel Cross to give the centering kick to Heaslip, because he would have been just outside his range, I think, kicking into what breeze there is in this pocket. And right on the three-quarter siren here, you would think one of the last kicks of the quarter.
And at three-quarter time, we'll give you some updates from the across the border in WA with the under-16 South Australia taking on WA. We'll have those scores at three-quarter time as Heaslip on the runway, kicks on its way, celebrates immediately as soon as his boot connected with the Burley. Game number 50, he's got his first, and South Adelaide extend the margin.
Yeah, great work, South Adelaide. And we've got an absolutely ripper last quarter on our hands here, Don. And Heaslip, he's had a pretty good game, 50 as well. His first goal of the game, he can win the footy on the inside. And Joel Cross, as we mentioned before the game started, what a player he's been. A couple of McGarry medals since he's been at the club as well, and still a leader and one of their best players.
10 goals in this quarter, a fantastic quarter of SANFL statewide Super League football. Check your Power of Dark scoreboard. South Adelaide 11-9-75. They lead Glenelg 11-2-68. It's a 7-point margin, 29 gone. White thumps it out of the restart, back in the middle, only as far as Noble for the Panthers. He just got past three Tigers all in one go. Sends it back inside 50. Here's leaping Luke Reynolds, takes the mark. Well, off the back of kicking 4 goals, he's having a great day, and now he's in defence. So Mark Stone swinging the changes late, right on three-quarter time. As the siren sounds, it is South Adelaide 11-9-75 on the Power of Dark scoreboard, leading Glenelg 11-2-68. It's a 7-point margin at three-quarter time. Quickly, your goal scorers. Firstly, for South Adelaide, they are for the Panthers. Kyle Emery and Anthony Beamans have 3 apiece, and singles to overall Davis Heaslip.
He started on a wing today for the first half, and they pushed him forward. Kicked 3 goals in that third quarter, also one in the first. He's got 4 goals. But Liam McBean sort of dropped out of the game a bit. Bradley Crabb's doing a pretty good job on him. So if they can hold him down in the last quarter and try to quieten those other 2 boys we mentioned, South Adelaide right in this game. Obviously they're leading, kicking into a slight breeze, but when you have a look at the windsock over there, Don, near the scoreboard, doesn't look like it's moving very far at all, and we can see that we can kick goals towards the northern end, so it'll be an interesting game. I'll stick with the Tigers, but I do like, if I had you know, a small wager on South Adelaide, you'd be pretty happy with how they're going at three-quarter time.
Well, they have to hold on to this. Final quarters for both sides. Glenelg are a 4-5 record from their 9 previous matches in 2019. South Adelaide also a 4-5 record. So it is poised between these 2 sides who have great history. Head-to-head, they're 104 to 122 in favour of Glenelg with 3 draws at Flinders University Stadium. South Adelaide lead at 15-13 with 1 draw. Is it going to be 16-13, 15-14, or are we going to have 2 draws? It's all ahead of us here. Final quarter action on the digital pass. We're underway. Bounce down. White went early against McGree. McGree had it, lost it. White went back for the pill. Tackled by Davis, and we'll have a secondary stoppage. So a 7-point margin beckons the Tigers to draw it back, or South Adelaide to hold on. Finals opportunities also beckon as Little's wrapped up by the Snook tackle. As we said at the start of the game, Grant, this is for South Adelaide to consolidate their place in the 5. There's 3 or 4 sides involved on 10 points at the moment. For Glenelg, it's a chance to get the top of the table position back. Ball bobbling around down there. Partington couldn't grab it. Players just desperate to try and get purchase on the Burley, but they can't. They can't even get it out. Surely the umpire has to come in, and he does, right on cue, and ball it up.
You think there'll be a free kick out of here in a moment, Don, just to clear this footy out?
We might see one. Good battle between White and McGree. Davis, round the body kick into open space. One-on-one contest between Yates and Schwartz. Bouncing ball. Cross led in the race to it. Got a little hand pass out in front of Chalmers. Beamans picked it up but took it over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in. So just over a minute's ticked by. South Adelaide have made some ground. They kick towards the Colonnades end or the northern end, left-hand side of your digital pass screen in this final quarter.
They'd love to get the first goal. South Adelaide, Don, starts to put a bit of doubt in the Tigers' minds.
They've got to get the crowd into it, don't they, here? Heaslip tackled, got a hand pass to Little, but again, the boundary line wins out, so no meterage gain there from the Panthers, but they still have it in their forward territory. As McGree goes up against White, boundary throw went right over their heads. White thought about taking possession, does now, gets it out somehow. Snook's wrapped up in a tackle there and going nowhere. Abe Davis, I should say, the tackler there.
One of South Adelaide's best today. Could be in the line for the voting, Don.
High in your votes, the 3-2-1 for the Digital Pass Player of the Season coming up at the end of this game. The ball at centre wing, trapped again in another stoppage, so several stoppages already in the first couple of minutes of play in this quarter. You think something's got to open up here shortly. Partington tries to create something, goes back by hand, a shot. He just puts it on the boot, and that was well done by McBean, because had that gone out of bounds untouched, it would have been a free kick to South Adelaide. Glenelg gained some territory and a boundary throw-in.
Yeah, good spot there, because he just got his hand to it before the ball went out of play, saving the South Adelaide free kick, so sets the Tigers up just outside forward 50.
As White goes up against McGree, the latter probably won it down. Taken by Davis, who's wrapped up by Snook, and the umpire says, well, I'll have it again. So the green team getting plenty of work this afternoon. Ball thrown up, Davis again got another clearance. He was hoping for fit, but it missed him. It was picked up here by the Tigers, and they send it back inside 50. Punched away by the South defenders there, and the boundary line again wins out. So further territory gained by the Tigers towards their goal to the Onkaparinga end.
Yeah, and Brad Crabb once again, just experience there, just put the big fist into it, forcing the ball out of play, and South Adelaide happy to start again in that pocket.
Right underneath the Power of a Dark scoreboard, the boundary umpire recoils it back over his nose, and White wins the tap down, looking for Motlop, who does well. Got it out the back there to Shot. His kick was smothered. Back to Motlop, though. He can create some magic. Sends it to the hot spot there. Haines does well, though, for South Adelaide to Davis, one of the best on ground. A real floater, a real wrestle. Whittlesey couldn't get rid of Curran. Here's now the Tigers. Through Chalmers, kick around the body. Haines was good against Reynolds. Bailey for the Tigers. Back pedals it to Scharenberg, who just lowered the eyes and saw Liam McBean leading into the shadows. And McBean's taken the mark about 40 metres out. Really tough angle. Yeah. We're right behind it, though. We'll see a little bit of right to left about this one, I reckon, Grant.
Yeah, and Brad Crabb, I was just looking at the expression on his face. He knew he just couldn't get there. And Liam McBean just had that space in front of him to lead into. Took a nice, easy mark from a beautiful kick.
Starts his approach. He's kicked two already this afternoon. McBean, we're right behind this one for you on the digital pass. Get a good look at it. Kicks on its way. Started at left. It continues in that fashion. And it's a minor score. So Glenelg now 11-3-69. They trail South Adelaide 11-9-75, Grant, but the draw's back on the equation now.
Yeah, it's never far away, but that one there, it sort of drifted from right to left, didn't it? But it always was out too far to that left-hand side.
Haynes decides to clear it far and wide as well from his kick, which was taken by Schwartz. He was unceremoniously dumped, but got it to Little, who backpedaled it to Summerton. Summerton's look-away kick, though, intercepted. And Shot takes the mark. So Shot now sends it back long and strong inside 50. McBean was the flyer. Scott went up with him as well. Haynes at the back stayed down. Got the burley, got the kick away. Desperate dive by Liam Fitt there. And I don't think he could save it, though, as he gives up possession to the Tigers from the last disposal rule. And Shot will bring it back in quickly again. Chipping kick this time. Players set themselves. McGree went up early. Out the back, Bailey. Look away, hand pass. He's got Partington there on the left foot. Partington lines it up. His kick goes across the face of goal. Missed everything out of bounds on the full. No change to the score. Still the Panthers by 6 points.
Yeah, just Partington on the non-preferred left there. Oh, this could be a dangerous kick, though. Oh, gee whiz, it's paid off for the Panthers.
That was by Summerton. It was short, it was dangerous, but it was courageous as Rose took it and gave it back to Summerton now, who made ground. Now he blasts it out towards right half-back. Snook did well up there against Brown. Comes back inboard to Shot. Feigned the hand pass, went on the left foot, back inside 50. Big fly from Scott out the back. Well done, Crabb. Held his ground. Nice little pass too, and finds Overall. Quickly gave it to Brown. Brown's kick away now. And that's good because it finds Fit. Fit now, shields his eyes, squares it inboard to the corridor to Cross, and Cross chips it over the top. This is how they manufactured goals in the first quarter. Overall with the kick up, he had the lead-up man of Beeman's. Out the back here it comes for Heaslip in game 50. Can he create something? Can he be a hero? He hands it off. The scrubby little kick across the ground goes right across the face, and it's picked up by Chalmers, last line of defence for the Tigers. And he goes backwards and they get out of trouble now through McCarthy eventually. And now it comes to the way of Curran, and the skipper clears it. Bouncing ball though, picked up here by Emery. Nice hand pass to Brown. Short pass, doesn't go the required surely to Lonergan. Almost got themselves into trouble. Bailey still pressing, but Emery, nice kick inside 50, but a strong mark taken back there. Really good mark by Ubergang, the former Fremantle Docker, just being an anchor point for the Tigers' defence at that very moment, and his kick's good. Now Betterman goes short to Shot. Defensive side of centre wing, 7.5 gone. 6-point margin in favour of the Panthers.
With some really good defensive work before, Don, deep in the defence there. One of the South Adelaide boys, I think it might have been Heaslip, gave the footy off. Then it could have been a shot on goal, but they just pushed him as he released the footies, and the ball went across the face.
Brad Close with a nice mark, putting those long-sleeved arms up, taking a good grab. Sends it inside 50, and there's another good grab on the end of that's Reynolds. Leaping Luke saw that nicely. He's kicked 4, he's had a day out, and if he kicks 5, we've got a locked away ball game.
Well, this is where he needs to be lucky, Luke, because he's kicked his forward on. Now he's after number 5. He'd love this one. And the Tigers, could be a draw again.
His last goal was goal number 100 for him in his Sandford statewide Super League career. Can he kick 101 from 49 metres? Kicks on its way. He really likes it, and why wouldn't he? He's got 5. And we've got a tied away ball game again. Luke Reynolds, he's got a fistful, and he's got the Tigers back level with the Panthers. And we've gone 8, nearly 9 minutes of this last quarter, and I tell you what, the blood pressure of everyone here, I reckon, is going to go through the roof shortly. And thanks to Bone Timber, that first goal of our final quarter. Great sponsors of the Glenelg Footy Club. They've been providing quality timber since 1919, a 5th generation family business. And I tell you what, Luke Reynolds making goal kicking his business this afternoon.
Yeah, well, he's starting to put himself in the conversation, Don, for the votes. The Player of the Year award, 5, and plenty of time left.
No conversation, Grant. It's only between yourself. You can work it out.
It's always a conversation to be had, Don.
Noble slung in the tackle, but got a hand pass. As he did, it was taken by White, who was stripped of it. McGree there fighting for it, clean by hand. Just came out in the tackle as well. Noble buried his head straight into a would-be tackler there and is forced to have a ball up as Jesse White got him. And burying the head, that's a prior opportunity. So he was locked up there. Fair call by the umpire though. McGree got a little toe poke as he was taken, maybe held on to too long. He wasn't. A free kick to the big man. And have a listen to the crowd, giving the umpires the appreciation they deserve. He's looking for Sampson. Good over the top by Betterman, who had his head ripped off.
Free kicks coming back.
And it is coming back. So Sampson relieves the pressure for the Panthers. He goes wide, looking for and finding Carpeney. Carpeney quickly onto that left shoe, but a good mark back there by Ubergang, who's taken a couple of nice marks back there this quarter, Grant. He's reading the ball really well.
Yeah, he's a beautiful size and got a good set of hands, and it's what they need at the moment back there, the Tigers.
Well, his kick was good to Partington, who's the recipient of a 25 as well.
Yep.
So Luke Partington.
I think something might have just happened off the ball there.
And he goes by hand now. They link up nicely to Chalmers. Chalmers now drills it to Close, and another great mark. This time backing back into open space. And Bradley Close says, I'm going to go back and I'm going to take it on my shoulders to give Glenelg the lead. The lead which has changed 5 times this afternoon. In an absolute thriller here at Flinders University Stadium. It doesn't get any closer. It's real close. It's Brad Close. Kicks on its way, and the mark's taken right on the last line of defence by Liam McBean.
Brad Crabb not happy. He thinks he was sort of manhandled there.
So Liam McBean From a horrible angle, he's going to go round the body on the left shoe by the look of it. Goes bang and misses. A minor score, but it has the Tigers in front. 12-4-76 to 11-9-75 on the Power of Arc scoreboard. Nearly 12 gone. 6 lead changes now in this game. It's been a cracker, Grant Coffey.
I was just about to say how players make that kick look easy these days, but he just pulled it too far.
So from the restart, ball at ground level. McCarthy, good tackle applied. The umpire says, I'll have it. So 1 point the margin here. 76 plays 75. Ball thrown up. Out the back. It's Betterman off his non-preferred with a tumbler inside 50. That close takes the mark. It might have been touched. I reckon it was, and it was, said the umpire. And we'll have a ball up. So inside 50 for the Tigers. They lead by the narrowest of margins, 12.5 gone. Underneath the scoreboard that tells the story as the kick away. Out of defence, Gregson now for the Tigers has a chance. Nearly tackled by Carpeney. Great tackle by Overall. Dispossessed, gives Carpeney another chance to kick it forward, but it's going to come back. Here's the chance now for the Tigers. Shot. Missed his target in the form of Chalmers. Picked up here by Yates. Goes back to Curran, the skipper. What can he manufacture? Scott went early up and over the top. And it's going to be a free kick. And it's going to go the way of the Panthers with Josh Scott for his premature elevation over the top of Joel Cross.
Yeah, I reckon it might have been Luke Reynolds there, wasn't it? Number 7. But anyway, the free kick's gone to South Adelaide, and Tigers have got all the running here at the moment.
They do indeed. They have the momentum. They have the lead. They have their eye on top spot as the ball's paddled over the boundary line. So check your scoreboard thanks to the Power of Radark. Glenelg 12-4-76. South Adelaide 11-9-75. Nearly 14 gone in the final quarter.
The way we're going, Don, it's probably only going to be a 26-minute last quarter. Not too many goals so far in it.
We had a lot of goals scored in the previous quarter. This one, not so much. So Glenelg now, chipping it around. Curran has it. The skipper, what can he orchestrate? Goes to the top of the 50. Players set themselves nearly in the hands of Matty Rose. Couldn't take it. Carpeney, the recipient, stolen by Motlop. Oh, some real Motlop magic there to McBean from 45 metres out. McBean has missed. He stretches the margin to 2 points. 12-5-77 now, Glenelg. South 11-9-75. 77 playing 75. 2 point margin. 14.5 gone. Carpeney now with the ball. South Adelaide, a drilling pass.
Good kick.
Oh, opens it up here to Fit. And now they're on the counter punch, the Panthers. Noble has a bounce. Looks up. Goes to a one-on-one. He's got Little there. Now it's a two-on-one as flying in as Chris Curran, as Chris Curran loves to do. Takes a great grab.
They looked like they could have spoiled each other there, Don, but great mark by the skipper.
He goes to Uber Gang, who goes further wide to Betterman. Betterman now, his kick looking for and finding Bailey. Out in front there of Tyson Brown. It was Tom Whittlesey. So Bailey, Bradley screaming for it as he's running through the centre of the ground, but Bailey decides to hug the line. Bouncing ball. Was protected by Lonergan, who was just met front and square by Timmy Sumner.
Yep.
The umpire said that was all okay. So we'll have a boundary throw-in. 2 points the margin. 77 plays 75. Nearly 16 gone. The ball's thrown back in. Rucks go at it. McBean did the ruck work for the Tigers. Now Sumner. Oh, just spun his way through very, very heavy traffic. High ball, a chaos ball. Scott pushed underneath it. Haines did well. Last line of defence. He's done it a couple of times in this quarter. Got it to Noble. Noble's kick was good to Davis. Davis has the runner flanking him in Heaslip. He says go, and Heaslip does. And he goes to a one-on-one out the back there. Beamans does well, kept his feet. The free kick's been paid to Chris Curran.
Yeah, I think he just nudged him under the ball. I thought it was fine.
Curran now has the free kick. Goes to Gregson, who goes short. Now they're away here through Bradley, who's kicked to right half forward. Scott, good spoil by Summerton.
Good contest, that one, though, Don.
Yeah, it's been a great contest all day. You look at the scorebook and it says Josh Scott's got 4 goals, but I tell you what, it's been a captivating one-on-one contest by those 2 players. Ball thrown back in. McBean going up against Whittlesey, won the tap down. Whittlesey got a little hand pass. Bradley stripped of it. Motlop knew he had McBean on his outside. McBean's kick is good, looking for Reynolds out the back. Was picked up by Lonergan for the Panthers and gave it to Brown. Close in hot pursuit, didn't get close enough though. Back to Rose. Rose with a little kick over the top. Oh, it sat beautifully for Brown. Didn't have to break stride. To half forward. It's a brilliant kick if it sits. Oh, it's cleverly done. On the end of this is Joel Cross. Runs to 25 and kicks the goal. Listen to the crowd roar. Joel Cross, the skipper, gets his first, and what a time to get it.
Yeah, fantastic teamwork there by South Adelaide. Started off with Matty Rose there. Just put the ball out in front of his teammate Tyson Brown. His kick was an absolute rip, had some penetration on it. Went to Sam O'Rourke, tapped it into the waiting arms of Joel Cross. And Joel Cross kicks goal number 1, Don, when he needs to.
Certainly did. Power of Arc scoreboard, South Adelaide 12-9, 81. They've got the lead back. The Tigers 12-5, 77. Lead change number 7 in the game here. We've gone 18 minutes and it's the Panthers in front by 4 points.
Only been 2 goals scored, Don, so won't be a long last quarter, you wouldn't think. 26 minutes maybe.
Hold on to your hats on the digital pass. It's all ahead of us. White got the tap down, but McGree just stole it. Almost a little drop kick. Got it to Sampson, who directed traffic to say to Little, just go inside 50. Punched away by Yates. In there was Bradley as well. Ball at ground level. Throwing his weight around was Beeman's trying to pick the Burley up, but he couldn't, and we'll have a ball up about 40 metres out. South Adelaide have it in their forward 50 though. Ticking towards 19 minutes. Won't be a lot of time on. They hold the lead at the moment. Partington got it to Betterman. Anything could happen in this game. It's had everything. And that's still ahead of us. Lonergan just taken in the tackle, but he got it away nicely. South Adelaide get it forward, but again, Betterman does well. He's been industrious today, Finn Betterman. A high ball. Scott set himself under it, but Summerton did well. Now it's Lonergan for South Adelaide, but a whistle has gone. And umpire Schramm coming in to say yes.
Might be against Summerton.
Off the footy.
Yeah, I think it was.
So it will be in the favour of Lonergan because the free kick will be paid where the ball was at the time, not back where the free kick happened, as Lonergan now thumps it towards right half forward, outer side. Big fly, Davis. Just came from nowhere, took the mark, got it to the bootlaces of Sampson. Touch of the fumbles, taken in a tackle, thrown to the ground, got the hand pass away, and the Tigers have redeemed possession through Curran. Curran's kick, looking for Betterman. It was a slippery pill. He couldn't take it, but he took down his opponent there and locked it in, and we'll have a ball up about 60 out.
Yeah, Abe Davis done most things right, but the handball was just a bit low for Sampson, I think it was, and just nearly caused the turnover.
Luke Partington, our player, spotlight player for the final quarter. 2 marks, 4 tackles, couple of handballs and 4 kicks, and that's thanks to the ACH group. As in the meantime, ball spits forward for South Adelaide. Out the back, Betterman does well. Bailey taken in the tackle there. And umpire says we'll have a ball up. So players remove themselves. As the ball's thrown up, McGree now took it out the ruck. No prior opportunity, so we'll have a ball up. So again, rucks lock horns. No third man up. I thought there might have been in that situation. Snooks in there. Players just locking it in. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and the Tigers need something.
Yeah, this is where as a South Adelaide player you can make a name for yourself here.
Schwartz is in there.
Oh, that could be a throw.
Get it out. But here's Cross. There's a whistle gone, though, and a free kick going to the Tigers. So it will come back to Finn Betterman. I've liked his game this afternoon.
Yep.
The umpire liked it too, as he goes wide to Uber Gang. The big Matty Uber Gang. Goes short, precise, and pinpoint to Yates.
Yeah, it's a good kick.
Yates now, defensive side of centre wing. Sumner calling for it short, decides to go longer to McBean. McBean worked underneath it nicely by Crabb. Reynolds and Haines do battle. Their locking horns are almost waltzing together. Umpire just lets it go, and well done. Crabb to Noble. The Panthers are out through Heaslip to Davis. Davis now decides to go bang. 50-50s everywhere, crashing the pack there was Beeman's. Umpire just letting it go. They put the Acme Thunder away as Carpenter's got Cross. Cross can turn and burn. He lines up, he loads up, he needs a kind bounce. It sits for and finds his teammate charging through the Old Firm. Cross to Little to goal.
Fantastic work by South Adelaide, Don. Good vision there by Malcolm Carpenter and the old stager Joel Cross. He actually wasn't having a shot on goal, Don. He saw Nick Little running in and just sort of kicked it towards the goal square. But gee whiz, sort of nervous times there because the ball could have got away from him, but it bounced back. And this makes it pretty hard for the Tigers. They need one quickly.
Power of a Dark scoreboard says South Adelaide 13-9, 87. Lee Glenelg 12-5, 77, a 10-point margin. Nearly 23 minutes gone. There won't be much time on.
Nope.
Is that the nail in the coffin for the Tigers? Will they suffer their second loss only for the season? They've had a draw against the Panthers. Maybe they can take the points away from them here today on their home deck, South Adelaide. Picked up by McBean, runs into an open goal. Well, they've been asked the question, and there's your answer. The Tigers are back thanks to Liam McBean, and he's got 3.
Well, we said they needed one quickly, Don, and they've responded the best way they can. I think there'd be only 3 or 4 minutes to go in this game, Don, so the Tigers, they're 4 points behind. Still anyone's game.
It is still anyone's game. Power of a Dark scoreboard now. Let's check that with just over 23 and a half gone. Glenelg 13-5, 83. Trail South Adelaide 13-9, 87. It is a 4-point ball game. One straight kick either way does it. It's all ahead of us here on the digital pass. Stay locked and loaded. Only a few minutes remain. Back in the middle. White goes out at McGree, got the tap down to Davis. A clearing little kick was smothered. Schwartz kicked it forward though, picked up by Bradley for the Tigers. Taken in a tackle, holding the ball, the crowd cry. No Pryor there though, we'll have a ball up. No, there's a push in the back, a free kick to the Panthers. Well, territory's everything now for South Adelaide. Tom Whittlesey, Grant Coffey said, doesn't matter, you have a quiet day, you can have a good moment. And Tom Whittlesey's going to bang this one in, long and strong to the top of the goal square. To the Colonnades Tavern end, big fly at the front of the pack there. Mark wasn't taken by the South player, he went up in overall. Ground level ball, players stacks on the mill, overall's in there again. Has to be careful not to give away a free kick, but he has. He just took Scharenberg too high. So Jonty scurries off, goes short to close, had it, lost it, back inboard by hand. They're under pressure here now. Whittlesey just went bang straight into Liam McBean, ricocheted off of him. Bradley took it, tumbled one towards half forward. Scott picked it up, stripped of it. Davis, one of the best on ground, nearly got possession. Players throwing themselves all over it. Scott went over the top, whistle's gone, free kick South Adelaide. And Davis has just lost it. He's lost the plot and he's lost the free kick. Well, Abe Davis, I don't know what was going through his mind then, but he's given Scott the chance to bang the Tigers to half forward. Crabb sits underneath it, met front on by McBean, and the free kick will go the way of Bradley Crabb. To the roars of the crowd, he had his eyes on the footy. McBean was always in position B. Oh, I'll tell you what, the hearts are racing up here in the grandstand. It's that fever pitch as Crabb kicks it towards a pack. Davis couldn't take the mark. Ubagang's down in the process, and Abe Davis has just given him one right in the noggin for his troubles as he walked past him, making it look like all that was nothing.
They're away here, Don.
And now Scott's got it. Now they got McBean backing back in a one-on-one. Scott's got to bang it back in. He does. Here's McBean, leaps for it. Oh, what a grab.
mark!
What a grab! That is a match-saving mark from Joey Haines. I tell you what, he's going to be the Lord Mayor of South Adelaide tonight, Joe Haines.
What a mark!
In a packed situation, he just met the heavy pressure, the heavy contact, and he never let his grip of the ball go.
Needs to go down the line.
Haynes now back towards centre wing. Big pack of players. Davis sets himself. Overall with the fist away. Bradley with the ball. Tackled by Noble. Crowd holding the ball. Little escapes. A little bit of magic. And it's a lovely kick to Heaslip in game 50.
There can't be much time, Don.
There cannot be much time. Ben Heaslip in the dying seconds of a contest of an absolute thriller. Big fly, ball comes down. There's the siren. There's the siren. South Adelaide, they hang on. The Panthers, 13-9-87, have taken victory over Glenelg, 13-5-83 in an absolute thriller at Flinders University Stadium. Goal scorers for South Adelaide. 3 each to Anthony Beamans and Kyle Emery, and singles to Sam Overall, Nick Little, Abe Davis, Joel Cross, Ben Heaslip, Malcolm Carpenter and Hayden Sampson. And for the Tigers, their goal scorers, thanks to the Telstra store at Glenelg, Luke Reynolds kicked 5, Josh Scott kicked 4, Liam McBean kicked 3, Marlon Motlop kicked 1. But the final story is South Adelaide win a thriller by 4 points. Comments and his 3 votes, Grant Coffin.
Yeah, well, what a game of footy. South Adelaide, they were on the back foot the whole game. The Tigers kicked the first 6 goals of the game. And what a game after that we had. And what a mark, one of the absolute marks of the season, Joey Haines there, Don. In the front of that pack, there must have been 10 players attacking that ball at 100 miles an hour, and he stood there in front, not the top.